I am a medium chopped young man. Can I still wear the shirt? I mean, listen, if you if you're medium chopped and you put the shirt on, you will no longer be chopped. Like, that's for sure. Thoughts? This just took me out. Gal Gadot acting. Yeah, we'll look at this. But yeah, hold on. I'm in time 100 most influential. New York City, day 3. Talking Trump, tariffs. BB wants Trump to get Nobel Peace Prize. Are you linking up with Zoran while you're here? No, brother. He is, or sister, or the emperor. My man is fucking working, dude. You don't got time for me. You don't got time for fucking influencers. He's running the city. He's running his campaign. Are you gonna get it the Aki way? Probably not. Are you washing your face with blue bottle water over there? Yeah, Saratoga blue bottle water for sure. War criminal nominating another war criminal for Nobel Peace Prize. Such irony. I know, it's kind of funny. But yeah, hold up. What else was I gonna say? I'm in the top 100 most influential. New York City, day 3. I'm talking Trump tariffs. BB wants to get Trump Nobel Peace Prize. Texas flood. Death toll increases. Later, the kid Mero shows me and True Anon around the city. Get in now. Are you gonna watch Superman? Did I not mention to you guys that Superman? I talked to a journalist who watched a screener of Superman ahead of time, and said that the screener the journalist told me that it was like very political, and actually was like super fucking pro Palestine, like anti-Israel straight up. So get ready for the maulding. Get ready for the mauled on that front. But I'm actually stoked to watch it. Have you met with Mahmoud Khalil? No, not yet. That's gonna be Friday. Today is Mero, Embrace. Tomorrow is a shorter stream with like Vogue offices, and then on Friday is the big one. Friday is the Mahmoud Khalil interview. But yeah, super woke. We'll talk about that too. Superman, super woke? Question mark? You know what it is. Have you seen that Jurassic World is woke? Yeah. Everything is woke, brother. Hollywood is still woke. Dark woke is still here. Dark woke is real. Dark woke is life. Dark woke is love. Dark woke is real. F1 was pretty solid too for those who didn't see it. Yeah. Time magazine is so funny because like one day they got Jonathan Greenblatt writing articles on Time magazine being like Hassan is basically Kanye West, and then the next day they're naming me as one of the most influential anti-Semites, I guess. It's just like, once again, none of this shit makes sense, okay? And it's all a byproduct of like all of this stuff is just like people trying to manufacture outrage, and sometimes doing it successfully, but in most circumstances not even doing it successfully. It's just fake outrage though. So I don't know. I need to do more PR, and like by that I mean not PR in like the real media space, because like in mainstream media I have a pretty decent I have a tremendous number of articles that people write about me, and it's awesome and it's great, shouts out to mainstream news. But I need to do PR in the internet space, because there are a lot of like random content creators who just get all of their information from like Reddit. So if you were to just look at Reddit, or if you were to look at just like controversy, I feel like the way I'm perceived in this in the sphere of influencers is like dramatically different than the way I'm perceived in the adult politics world, right? It almost feels like these are two alternative realities. Now, obviously, for my audience, like mainstream news is way more important, but it does annoy me sometimes when I have like this notion. Did he see these already? Oh, I haven't seen these yet. The idea of like how I'm perceived by adults who in the political world versus how I'm perceived by like my immediate fucking peers in the Twitch sphere that only look at like only associate my content with like drama that other people are trying to constantly create around me is fucking annoying. And I gotta fix that. You need to be like Uncle Sam and not be aware of anything on the internet. Yeah, but the problem is like I'm also very online. I'm a lot more online than Uncle Sam is. You've done so many less collabs with your friends so far, and it sets back the PR. I know. And one thing you really need to do is stream on YouTube as well. Yesterday, you tripled majority report viewer count in YouTube. That's an entire audience you haven't tapped into. That's true. Yes, we'll do Alligator Auschwitz as well. Hassan has deleted Twitter like 5 times. No, I delete Twitter from my phone with regular frequency, but then but then I have to like restart it, re-download it when I'm like traveling, because it's like I need to re-download it on my phone, because like I need it when I'm out here, when I'm streaming out here, or when I'm like visiting. Like that's my primary mode of communication with other people. FYI, there's an alternative Superman whose crib crashed in the USSR instead of Kansas. It's called Red Sun. I know. I actually recently watched it. I'm coming for you, Zoran. Michael Rappaport is horny for Zoran. Huh, color me surprised. Yeah, I watched Superman Red Sun like a couple days ago, actually. When I was back in LA before I got, like the last night before I left for New York, I watched it. And what's really interesting about that is one, it wasn't as like anti-USSR as I thought it was going to be. It wasn't like, I mean, there was definitely, like, from what I understand, the way that they portray the relationship between Stalin and Superman, but then the way that it ends is not as good as the comic book, I guess. Like there is a real Stalin is single-handedly responsible for all of the atrocities in the USSR, so you know, effectively eliminating him will fix the problem. And then there's a period where it's beautiful. The USSR is like Superman saves Korea, unifies Korea, that sort of thing. And like Soviets are rising all around, but then the ending is like kind of lame. Yeah, I remember the local dog catcher thing. It's shit like that outside people will use and abuse against you is valid, but shit like that you got to do PR for? No, you're absolutely wrong about that. That's not... What? Bro, you think the average influencer understands anything about like anti-Semitism or Israel-Palestine? No, that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is like most people just like associate me with like Asmongold and shit. And because content creators live in a totally separate plane of existence than like normal human beings do. Content creators live in a totally separate plane of existence where all they care about is content. So their association with what I do is not necessarily about like the impact of what I do or what matters or anything like that. Their association with what I do revolves around, oh, he's just doing content, but his content is toxic because it invites a lot of like toxic backlash and toxic feedback from other very toxic content creators who are like constantly harassing people. So like the average person's analysis on like what I do is not like, oh, this is a political content creator, he's like somewhat serious, he's like doing activism or whatever. And it's just like, I do fun collabs and memes, he does politics. Like that's his content, right? They just see like they think like my content is basically toxic. But obviously in the normal sphere, in the normie sphere, like I go outside all the time. It's amazing. Like there are no issues, you know? There are no issues with like the way people perceive me in public. I have no issues with that at all. I'm very happy with that. A lot of people that know you but never watch you assume you are a drama guy because that's all they've seen. Yeah. Why do people online think you're insincere? Because I think a lot of people assume that everyone, like every content, it's a projection. Content creators themselves are projecting, where they're like, oh, this guy can't possibly care about this shit. He's simply talking about it because he wants to make money. Because I think they're insincere and they don't have like a political project that they care about personally. Understandably, not many people do in the content creator sphere, especially because like they see politics as unnecessarily divisive. They think, well, you know, Republicans buy sneakers too. That's the mentality that a lot of people have. It's like, why would you cut? Why would you cut into your audience like that? And a lot of people just like get their gear, like get their information from like a lot of these, you know, apolitical, drama focused people. And those guys are always saying like, oh, this person must be insincere. He can't possibly believe the things that he is speaking about. But it's all good. So we just got to keep up the collabs with Twitch streamers and YouTubers and things like that as well. So, what was I gonna say? That was just like a random thing that I noticed. But yeah, we're live. We're alive. Let's get it started. Do we have the Hassan Millennial Core? What is this?
We are young. There's a fire in our soul.
That's crazy.
We are young. That's right.
To be fair, this is literally, I mean, I am a millennial. This is Millennial Core. These are fits that I wore. And at the time when I was wearing these fits, this shit went hard, okay? Halloween.
No one I know will ever die. Your mom and
That's so fucking stupid. I'm reposting it. I can't believe you used to dress like you were a young, hip youth pastor. I mean, that shit was popping. That shit was popping at that point. That was like, I was a hat guy. I was a hat guy for sure. This never went hard, brother. We made fun of fits like these back then too. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. Stop the Cope Train. 2014, that shit went so nutty, dude. 2014, this shit went nutty. It went nuts, so. Like, this is the 2013 to 2015 era where these fits were crazy, okay? No, it wasn't, bro. I'm a year younger than you. No one wore that shit. I mean, it's all good. Can't believe you robbed us of a peak lobby with Nandre, Ray, and Will. Respond to people more, lazy ass. Dude, I'm in fucking New York, chatter. What the fuck do you want me to do? I'm literally interviewing Mahmoud Khalil out here. I'm doing shit. I can't do it this week. I'll do it next week. Like, what is wrong? Some of you chatters are fucking crazy, bro. I swear to God. Are you on crack cocaine? Chatter? I'm working. What do you want me to do? Anyway, Pharrell Williams 2014 fit? Yes. That's precisely what this is. Like, you work for us? Yeah, I do. But also, you know, time and place. Bring back the Jedediah hat, brother. I will. I'm not bringing it back. You don't get this, man, when people bring up drama slop? I know. Because it's also because this is even dumber than that. So, bro, you wore influencer core. We're the same age. I never wore hats like that. You were a zesty Los Angeles influencer. I'm still a zesty Los Angeles influencer. But yeah, I don't know why people are still railing on this fit. That shit went hard at the time. It's funny now. But my shit's normalized a lot, okay? I'm wearing a lot more normalized things now. My fits have reached a level where it's like no longer as offensive. I deliberately try to like wear normal stuff. So I mean, I'm wearing a fucking t-shirt. Like, if you think this is an abnormal fit to have, you're out of your freaking mind. Like, that's crazy. Chat's doing historical revisionism. It was cool back then. Yeah. Slay's so hard in 2014. Don't ever forget. Yeah. Anyway, part of the reason why I'm in Los Angeles, like I was saying, is because I'm in Time 100. Time did 100 creators, most influential digital voices, and they chose me as one of the most influential. They also chose my enemy, Sean Evans. Obviously, I didn't make the cut for the Titans. You got Kai Cenat demands your attention, Alex Earl, Sean Evans, Jimmy Donaldson, also known as Mr. Beast, Olivia Dunn, I don't know who this is, and Kabane Lame, Joe Rogan, Charlie D'Amelio, Devin Rodriguez, Mel Robbins, I don't know who that is either, Alex Cooper, I know, Darman, my goat, Mark Rober, Alan Chicken Chow, Heather Cox Richardson, Nick DiGiovanni, Rhett and Link, which is sick, and then Chicken Shop Date, she's also dope. Livy Dunn, rizzed up baby Grok. Yeah. Oh yeah. Olivia Dunn is Livy Dunn. Oh, that's right. She rizzed up baby Grok. Of course. How could I forget? Then you got Marcus Brown Lee on the entertainers section. We got a bunch of content creators on here that made it. Pokimane is on here as well as on the Twitch streamer category. And then you got the leaders: Vaughn, Colin and Samir, Kate McHugh. I don't know who this is. Becky Kennedy, Vivian 2, Khalil Green, Michelle Carre, Gloria George, Jay Shetty, and then your boy Hasanabi Piker. Don't know where they found this photo from, but I'll take it. Hasanabi Piker. Hassan Piker is a socialist streamer by way of Twitch, where he has more than 2.9 million followers who tune into his daily broadcast. Recent topics range from his reaction to news that the U.S. bombed Iran to breaking down his detainment and questioning by Customs and Border Protection at Chicago's O'Hare International Airport. Homeland Security official described the stop as routine. Piker, 33, says he sees himself less as an influencer, more as a guide, ushering his loyal viewership through the day's headlines. I'm more than ever a major advocate for not controlling the flow of information, he tells Time, adding that his own media diet is made up of everything from the New York Times to Al Jazeera to Fox News. Piker has hosted conversations with political figures like Bernie Sanders and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. He is a polarizing figure who has been temporarily suspended by Twitch multiple times for his commentary, generating press far beyond the world of streaming. After every suspension, he's back at it. I'm very stubborn, and I have my convictions. Yeah, that's right, baby. What's the deal with Sean Evans? It's a meme that he's my mortal enemy because he beat me when the Hot Ones show first came out. I was up for an award that he was also up for. It was like the best like breakthrough new show, and he won that. So ever since then, I talk about how he's my enemy. Is Speed not on the list? I guess Speed didn't make the cut on this, which is surprising because I mean he is I think one of the best. Oh, Speed is on the list. Okay, I didn't see him. Okay, that makes sense. I mean, it would make sense that he's on the list. Let's be real. I don't know why he's not one of the Titans. Darren Jason Watkins. Oh, Phenoms. He's on the Phenoms side of the list. Okay. He's on the Phenom side of the list. He is a Phenom. That's true. You got Catalysts. You got Phenoms. You got Leaders. Oh, he was like right after me. That makes sense. He was just in my city yesterday. W Speed. Oh, are you in Croatia? They put Darman up there, but not Speed. That's insane. Okay. Randy Fine is a specimen. Croatia. This had me rolling. What is that? Oh, Gal Gadot's acting. Everyone is sending me the same memes. I swear to God. Ever since you lost to Sean Evans, you fell off. I know. I keep falling off, dude. I keep falling on, I think. Let's see this Gal Gadot acting.
Max Lord, you're putting yourself and everyone in grave danger. I need you to give me the stone. And enough champagne to fill the Nile. Mirror, mirror, magic mirror, who is the fairest of them all? It is our sacred
Khalil, no!
duty, and I'm going to help them. Kyle, no! Max Lord, you're
is perfect. The dead eyes is perfect. Is she really that bad on screen? I mean, literally all of these are iconic bars. Speed after 3 days in the Balkans. My man's got the fez on. Dude, that's crazy. This is anti-Semitism in my opinion. I mean, it's like, I think what she has done for acting is so damaging that I think any association of her and Judaism is just problematic for Jewish people. Many of them are fantastic actors. Like, think about that. On the Jewish actor side, you got Gal Gadot, or on even like the Israeli actor side, not even just the Jewish actor, but like Israeli actor side, you got Gal Gadot, and then you got fucking what's her face? Oh my God, why am I blanking out on her name? Natalie Portman, who is like the GOAT. Like the range is so crazy. I do think it has something to do with how much you love Israel, though, honestly, because like Natalie Portman, not the biggest Israel fan, as you guys know, right? And then like she is goated at acting. And then as far as like not even Israeli but Jewish, like Seinfeld loves Israel, absolutely awful at acting. Just something to consider for all the people out there, for all the acting heads out there. Bro, she's literally a liberal Zionist. I mean, Natalie Portman is definitely on the list of like actresses and actors from Israel. She has been a consistently critical voice. Seth Rogen, Larry David. These guys are in the anti-Zionist camp, and they're fantastic. She's no Seth Rogen, I know. Does Trump actually have the authority to take over New York City? OMG. President Trump floated taking over the city under a Zohar Mamdani Mero. He's saying we have tremendous power at the White House to run places we have to. Yeah, that's not how it's going to work. That's not how that works. Adam Sandler, definitely pro-Israel. Exactly. Point proven about bad actors. Does this scare you? New for me. Key Mamdani allies eyeing New York City House Dem primary challenges next. Jeffrey's advisor. If team gentrification wants a primary fight, our response will be forceful and unrelenting. We will teach them all and all their incumbents a painful lesson. I don't know what that means, but it doesn't scare me. No. I'm there. Listen, you can use me. I am a vessel. Okay. I'm a vessel. I'm a vehicle for change. If you want to put a progressive person in a primary against someone who is not doing the work, okay, I'm there. I will be your attack dog. If you want me to dial back, I'll dial it back, okay? That's it. That's it. And the Democrats that don't want to do the work need to either really reconsider whether they want to do the work or not, or they need to reconsider their seats. I think this is fair. I think this is valid. And I think it's normal and healthy. You will be silenced? Question mark. I mean, what do you mean? I will be silenced is like, what are we talking about? Like, I'm literally not on mainstream platforms. Like, I'm not an MSNBC commentator. You know what I mean? I have my own independent thing here. So yeah. But this is where we're at. This is what is going on. Did I just hear you say you want to run? No, that's not what I said. This is the Piker Broadcasting Service, okay? And the Piker Broadcasting Service serves a primary function, which is to be the voice of the people, the voice of the voiceless all around the planet, okay? The Piker Broadcasting Service is sponsored by you, the viewers, for you, the viewers. That's it. 9/11 man is never going to be able to run, chatter. No, it's not that. I don't like when people say that, dude. Even as a joke, even in jest, when we say shit like that, it kind of annoys me a little bit. I don't think you guys understand, okay? You are lending credence to silly, cynical statements being made by people who want to make these kinds of statements powerful. It's not a real thing, okay? Like, these things have been mentioned a million times over. Like, think about it this way. I don't know how many times I have to prove this to you, that this is like irrelevant, when like the reason why I'm in New York is because I'm in the Time 100 most influential. Like, you know what I mean? You have to fucking realize that when you take ownership over cynical lines of attack, like you're giving it legitimacy for no reason. When you say stuff like, well, it makes sense why you wouldn't be able to do this because of 9/11 statements. It's like, dude, what are you, fucking stupid? Do you think it's a real statement? You know? What? President? Hassan, that's actually true, though. No one has said that about 9/11 is going to be elected president. Like, I get it. You're talking about anything else. It doesn't matter. But president, bro, I've never said when have I said I'm running for president? When have I said I'm even running for office? I'm saying I'm not running for office, but the consideration is not because of the fucking 9/11 statements. It doesn't matter, dude. We live in a post. That's what you're responding to? Okay, take a week off. We are living in a post-Trump universe. You guys are fucking delusional and stupid. Donald Trump literally actively went after John McCain and said, John McCain, who was tortured by the Viet Cong, and literally said, I like my war heroes that weren't captured. You guys are so stupid if you think that any statement you have made in the past is going to play a formative role beyond how much you add that into the consideration. You have to really reconfigure your mind, okay? I'm not running for anything. I'm not running for anything at all. That's not a real thing that's happening, okay? But I will say that you have to make sure that in your mind, this is not a thing that is in consideration for you. Just get it out of your fucking brain. You think like all of this debate drama or all of these like manufactured outrage, manufactured controversies are important. And as they are important, as much as you consider it to be important. Okay? Do you understand? It's only as important as it pertains to your assessment. Like it's a very weird attitude that people have. It's the same shit that like Democrats do when they go, is this person electable? Is this person electable? Like electability politics is idiotic. It should play no role in your consideration of whether or not you want to vote for someone. Policies should be the only consideration. You're not voting for a popularity contest. You're voting for a politician. Okay? This is not about me at all. This is just about like the mentality that some people have. It is pure liberalism. Okay? It's like weirdly pundit brain shit. That's it. Get it out of your mind. It's inherently reactionary. It's inherently liberal. It is incredibly stupid. It is a poisonous way. It is a poisonous calculus that has plagued incredibly, endlessly electable candidates. And ironically enough, if someone like Zoran operated on that spectrum, he would not have fucking won. Okay? Can you imagine if Zoran had that Kamala Harris ass like slant where he was not even remotely interested in like identifying issues that that New Yorkers had, and then unconditionally slamming those issues in every single media moment that matters. Can you imagine if he was like, well, I have to like channel the focus tested, means tested policies that my fucking advisors are telling me. Okay? Why do you act like he already won the city? I mean, he hasn't yet, but I'm talking about the primaries. Like, this is stupid to do with like manufactured outrage online, but it's especially stupid to do. It's especially stupid to do with political campaigns in general. Okay, so don't do that. Optics do matter to a certain degree. I'm not going to say that it doesn't. Okay, because people are taking this awful parasocial behavior out into the real world. Yeah. Optics do matter to a certain degree, of course. I mean, this is a political race. A political race can only be won if you are popular. But it is healthy for you guys to consistently remind yourselves that the most significant aspect of a political campaign is not the optical issues that some other random person might perceive, but the policies themselves. Okay? People don't care about policy, which is why so many Bernie hopefuls swap to Trump based on purely vibes on popularity. I wish that someone I could get a beer with think would die off. No. I mean, you can be a cool person. You can be someone who people can get a beer with, but also simultaneously focus on the important issues that matter, the policies that matter. That's it. Also, I think you're miscounting how much Trump's policies played a role in his perception. Not to dive too deep into it, but like Trump presenting himself as anti-war, that's both political and an optical victory over the Democratic Party that worked twice. Okay? Didn't people like Mark Robinson lose because of past comments and bad things they said / did? Cases like that, Roy Moore, even Mastriano. Dude, you're comparing people who were like, I am Black Adolf Hitler, who is into like really fucking weird kinky shit in nude Africa forums, to like to fucking people trying to loosely associate with like my assessment on blowback, like America's involvement in Middle Eastern affairs leading to 9/11. Like, there is no comparison there. Do you see what I mean? Like, obviously, if you're like a fucking straight up psycho and you don't already have like the established brand that Trump has, and you're on top of that, you're black and you're running for the Republican side, these are all going to be major hurdles in front of you. Okay. You can't be like an incredibly controversial individual. There is, I'm not saying that like none of it matters. Of course, there are instances where like, you can't be that toxic of a fucking individual. Like Roy Moore was a pedophile. Like Roy Moore was such a prolific pedophile that like he had the local police did not want him going to the fucking local mall. Okay? And he still got the Trump endorsement regardless, but like, and so did Mark Robinson. Stop touching your hair. I have to fix it. It's bad. And Roy Moore still almost won in spite of being a fucking overt pedophile. So like, you know, there are no Democrats that hit that like hit that level of craziness. The humidity is doing magic to your hair. Those curls are flown. My barber pushed my shit back yesterday. It could be worse, brother. Anyway, we're going to get to the floods, okay? Before we get to Super Woke, Superman Super Woke. There's also some good news as well. Shai Davide is out at Columbia. Congratulations to Columbia University finally getting rid of one pest, one fucking freak on campus who has been a consistent plague upon the students, okay? But you know, that's for later. Look, let's talk about Camp Mystic and the floods in Texas once again. I didn't get to cover this too much yesterday. At least 110 are dead and 171 are missing after the Texas floods, the flash floods. It's devastating. But let's get into it.
Central Texas before Friday's deadly floods. More than 160 people are still unaccounted for in Kerr County alone. The death toll stands at 110. And now a report is raising even more questions about whether the region was prepared. It has to do with Camp Mystic, where more than 24 were killed. Jason Allen is in Ingram, Texas. Jason, good morning. What do we know?
Good morning, Adriana. Yeah, that report released by the State Department of Health Services shows that just 2 days before the flood swept through, state inspectors signed off on the camp's emergency disaster plan. Now, that required that they have a disaster plan, that they have an evacuation protocol, and the camp met that. It was only required that they post that plan in buildings, that campers were instructed on it. It's not clear exactly what the plan was or how closely they were able to follow it the morning of the flood.
Meeting for the first time since flash floods devastated their city last week, Kerrville leaders were emotional Tuesday.
I wish to God there was a way we could have warned them. That's the truth.
Survivors say they were unaware they were in danger on the morning of July 4th.
When you got out and saw where the water level was, what did you think?
I thought it could possibly be over.
At the Old River Road RV Resort along the banks of the Guadalupe River, park managers Marianne Moran and Hannah Thrasher told us they didn't receive any official evacuation warnings they would expect to get on their phones until it was too late. Instead, Moran says she was woken up by volunteer firefighters as water was already overtaking the property.
I think there should have been alarms.
You do?
If this, yeah, absolutely.
Like sirens?
Yeah. Why there weren't alarms going off around here is beyond me. A lot of people in the area.
Data from the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration shows just how rapidly the waters rose last Friday here in Kerrville, cresting at nearly 35 feet above normal levels. It's the third highest surge on record for that part of the Guadalupe River, and 3 feet shy of the infamous 1987 flood that killed 10 teenage campers further downstream. Despite the risk, Kerr County does not have a flood siren system.
All of our resources are focused.
During an at times contentious press conference with reporters Tuesday, local officials refused to answer questions about who is responsible for monitoring the weather and sending out alerts to residents, saying they were focused on finding those who were still missing.
All those questions will be answered, but the priority right now is bringing people home.
Governor Greg Abbott said there will probably be state lawmakers who are going to be meeting the end of this week, the beginning of next week, to go over ideas on how to fix this situation. There are still 5 girls missing and 1 camp counselor missing this morning from Camp Mystic. Nate?
All right, Jason, thank you. Let's talk Jeffrey Epstein, because back in 2019, when he was arrested on sex trafficking and conspiracy charges, since then there's been a big public push for his files to be made public. Who rode on his jet, who visited his private Caribbean island. In the 2024 campaign, Donald Trump and Donald Trump's allies talked a lot about Epstein, saying they would reveal the truth about what the government knows. Well, now the Trump Justice Department claims that Epstein had no list of clients, and that is drawing criticism from Trump's own supporters. Scott McFarland has more.
Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years. Are people still talking about this guy, this creep?
President Trump flashed anger during his cabinet meeting at a question about Jeffrey Epstein, whose death and sex trafficking investigation sparked conspiracy theories and calls by President Trump's supporters for a disclosure of a rumored Epstein client list for trafficked underage girls. But now the Department of Justice says that document does not exist. In a brief, unsigned memo released Monday, the department and FBI announced an exhaustive review revealed no incriminating client list and concluded Jeffrey Epstein committed suicide in his cell, adding investigators found no basis to revisit the disclosure of investigation files. The announcement immediately sparked widespread backlash, with some of Trump's far-right supporters calling for Bondi's resignation. In a post on X last month, Elon Musk claimed Trump was named in investigation files before taking it down, a claim Trump and Epstein's lawyer denied. Then yesterday, the president's former advisor wrote, "How can people be expected to have faith in Trump if he won't release the Epstein files?"
Sorry, I had to... Oh, look at that. Perfect timing. I had to shape up my beard a little bit. Well, not shape up my beard necessarily, but I had to clean up my neck a little bit, do a little bit of maintenance. You made the times 100 creators? No way! Do it on stream. Too late, I already did it. By the way, before we get to the Epstein stuff, hold on. There is one thing I wanted to show. This is Texas Governor Greg Abbott. Okay? An absolute demon who came out and made a fucking football analogy. It's like the football analogy in and of itself is so, like, it's so classic. Like, I am trying to be, a real Texan here. It was like such a desperate attempt to try and present himself as like a real average Texan. It's insane to me.
Investigation. We know a special session's coming in about 10 days.
What is this rage?
I would say where it begins, candidly, those investigations will begin by both the House and Senate before we go into session. So probably beginning later this week or the early part of next week, there'll be committees formed that are already kind of working on ideas about ways to address this. Second part of the question needs to be addressed. You ask, and I'm going to use your words, who's to blame? Know this. That's the word choice of losers. Let me explain one thing about Texas, and that is Texas, every square inch of our state cares about football. You could be in Hunt, Texas, Huntsville, Texas, Houston, Texas, any size community, they care about football. High school, Friday night lights, college football, or pro. And know this, every football team makes mistakes. The losing teams are the ones that try to point out who's to blame. The championship teams are the ones that say, don't worry about it, man, we got this. We're going to make sure that we go score again, that we're going to win this game. The way winners talk is not to point fingers. They talk about solutions. What Texas is all about is solutions.
Dude, when a football team loses, or when a football team makes mistakes and loses, there's no chyron underneath the head coach's PR press that says 109 dead, at least 161 missing in flooding. Okay? This analogy is psychotic. It's an incredibly desperate attempt that you can tell, by the way. Like, because if he had someone to blame that was on the libtard side, you know his ass would be going crazy mode over it. You know he'd be running around being like, you already know it's the goddamn liberals that made this happen. They hate America. They want you all dead. They want to kill all the Republicans in America and all this shit, right? So this basically is an admission that this is the closest you're going to get to an admission that they fucked up. Okay? That's precisely the reason why he's like, oh, you know, we don't point fingers until we fix the situation. We don't point fingers until we do the recovery efforts, okay? That's it. That's what this is. And it's wild that they're like running with this. It's wild that they're running with this fucking narrative. Like, I don't think this is going to be successful. If this were to become a successful line of deflecting criticism, it would only be a successful line of deflecting criticism because the Democrats didn't push hard on what some of the what were some of the major flaws here in terms of what were some of the major flaws here in terms of like where defunding took place and where what kind of like adequate prevention and alarm systems could have been implemented in a floodplain like Kerr County that they just refused to implement because they thought it was too expensive. Okay? And there is an example here. There is an example here that you can point to that's not from that long ago. Another aspect of anthropogenic climate change is obviously the increase in wildfires. Okay? Every single Republican immediately were like, well, Democrat-run city, Democrat-run state, look at them. And they even pointed the finger of blame at shit that unironically wasn't the problem. Okay? Like they were like, oh, they just weren't managing the water enough or some shit like that, where it's like, no, it's because of the overwhelming amount of like wildfires that that were impossible to combat at that point because of the fucking wind conditions that made it so that there was not enough water pressure. Like there are points of neglect and places to lay the blame on, and we certainly did, right? Underfunding the fire department. Like that's a reasonable criticism to make. Except because austerity is a Republican policy as well, they didn't even talk about underfunding the fire department. The Republicans instead claimed that it was because the fire department chief was gay. Like it was a lesbian fire department chief, and that's the reason. Or a black mayor, and that's the reason. Like these guys are such fucking freaks. Not only did they immediately shift the blame over to like the people in positions of power, when it was actually a not only did they instantly shift the position or shift the blame to people in positions of power, but they did it in the wrong way too. Like, could you imagine if I was like, yeah, Greg Abbott is disabled. That's the reason why that's the reason why Texas had so many deaths. Like, that would be a psychotic thing to say. You know what I mean? Oh, it's because he's in a fucking wheelchair. Like, what does that have to do with anything? Like, what are you, insane? Like, it's just like, it's so fucking frustrating. It's so frustrating. It's so annoying. But again, I don't think that people are buying this, but maybe they are. I don't know. I don't know how fucking brain broken like the average Texan is at this point. So I can't speak on it as far as like, is this a successful way to deflect attention and deflect blame away from the responsible parties? Maybe it's working. I don't think it is though, because people understandably are. I mean, this is turning into a Uvalde style situation very quickly, where there are many victims, there are many harm parties, there are so many families that have suffered so much, and they understandably want answers. And so far, the Republican answers are fucking idiotic. I mean, this is stupid. It's like, oh yeah, we're like a football team. Sometimes your football team don't pass the ball too good. Okay, cool. Thanks, man.
In fact, I want to read you something that I received last night that's worth emphasizing to put this in context. Tragedy has come. Oh. That part is done. What we do now, who we are now, that's what the story is still being written. Let it be one of grace, of grit, of fierce love in the face of grief. Let it be the kind of story that proves that the hill country may flood, but it does not fail. Say what you will about Texas, but when the rivers rise, So do we. Not with blame, not with bitterness, but with boots on the ground, arms around strangers.
Bro, what are you saying, dude? You're the fucking governor, man. You're the governor. You're not a random bystander who just like lost family members and is still like trying to cope with the trauma by trying to find like a silver lining or something. You're the fucking governor. This press conference is specifically about your lack of involvement or the actions that you took that led to the death toll being as high. Okay? Well, here's a poem about Texans and heart and grit. Like this is the nuclear version of thoughts and prayers. It's like, bro, there are 161 people missing, more than 109 dead. Like the death toll is insane in your state. This is a moment where they're demanding accountability from people in positions of power, and instead of answering for the 170 people that are missing, you're over here fucking talking about grit and determination of the Texan people. It's like, well, that's not you, is it? It's a cynical way to deflect the attention back to like the victims, to make yourself seem like you are a part of the people who have been wronged here. That's all this is. I'll give you 2 examples of this. Okay? When, for example, the Iran nuclear sites were struck, and people were like, hey, I don't think we actually struck the sites. Like, I don't think this was a successful strike. What did Donald Trump say? Oh, you're actually not criticizing me. You're criticizing our big, beautiful airplane pilots, Air Force pilots who did this spectacular operation. Okay? Or when Benjamin Netanyahu also struck Iran, and then Iran struck back for 12 days of bombing in Israel, and, 30 people died in the process. 30 people were killed, right, in the rocket fires in Israel. And Benjamin Netanyahu on, like, day 10 was like, we're all suffering. I had to postpone my son's wedding. Bitch, you're not a part of the fucking team at that point. Like, you are responsible. You are a politician. You're not like a random bystander that they're asking your opinion on. You know what I mean? Like, you did this. You literally struck Iran, and then Iran struck back. People are asking you for fucking answers, like, and you're like, oh, we're all looking for who was responsible for this. And the same thing goes for Greg Abbott in this situation. It's like, what is this deflection, dude? What is this fucking deflection? Keep Texas' name out your mouth. How dare you blame Texas' beautiful rivers? You take Texas rivers' names out of your mouth? Yeah, exactly. It's like, well, I guess you hate Texans and their grit. It's like, no, man, I don't want people to fucking die. And I want the state, I want the people in positions of power to literally fucking do the thing. They need to do the right thing ahead of time and do the right thing after the fact. You know what I mean? To like mitigate harm. That's the whole purpose of the fucking government. Otherwise, we're just giving money. We're just working every goddamn day and giving a percentage of the money that we're earning back to a group of fucking wealthy assholes who don't do anything for us in return. What is the job of the government if not this? What is the job of the government if not to ensure that there is a proper alert system in a fucking floodplain? What is the job of the government if not to make sure that there are campsites that are not on a fucking historic dried riverbed, but like at least in a safe distance from areas that are susceptible to flash flooding, especially if flash flooding becomes more devastating year over year? Your job as the government is supposed to go to the scientists who literally spend every fucking waking moment looking at how things are changing in the environment, okay, and how much more devastating these extreme weather events are, and take proper measures. Your job in the government is to fund those guys, the nerds that tabulate, that calculate, that do the research necessary. And then your job is to listen to their warnings and react accordingly so that you can save lives, so that you can mitigate the impact. Because I understand that natural disasters are impossible to perfectly deal with. Mother Nature is impossible to contend with. Obviously, everything that we do is against Mother Nature. But like, on the one hand, you're firing the scientists. On the other hand, you keep saying they're gay and woke and that we shouldn't listen to them and that they're alarmists unnecessarily and that climate change is fake. And then you're also not putting the proper safety measures in place in terms of like warning systems. So they're like fucking tornado sirens. Like, one of the things that I heard from people that were in the vicinity, people that were in Kerr County, was really interesting. This guy said, why can't we have those same sirens that Israel has when missiles are striking? And it was an interesting thing to hear from a Texan in that moment, because like, they've seen it. They've seen it every day. They've literally recognized it, where he's like, Israel has these Israel has a great fucking warning system, right, for missile strikes. In his mind, he might not make that connection, that Israel gets to have that because our money's going there, and you don't get to have that because our money's going there. Okay? Like, because remember, okay, maybe it's not directly for the warning siren, okay, for the flooding that was redirected to Israel, but didn't Greg Abbott push forth a bill or make a statement condemning the city of San Marcos' anti-Semitic resolution or something? On April 29th, Governor Greg Abbott today sent a letter to the city of San Marcos condemning its proposed anti-Semitic resolution, openly flouting Texas state law. Israel is a stalwart ally of the United States and a friend of Texas, reads the letter. I have repeatedly made clear that Texas will not tolerate anti-Semitism. You know what it was, by the way? You know what the anti-Semitic resolution was? It was that I think San Marcos in Texas had a ceasefire resolution. That was what was anti-Semitic. And then there was another thing. Wasn't there another thing that he basically, fuck, what was it called? Wasn't there another thing where he was like, he signed into law, like, more money going to Israel from Texas or something? Like, it was like $3 million. Because one of the things that you don't know that is always shocking, one of the things that when people find out they're like alarmed by, is not only the anti-BDS laws. Like, in the state of Texas, you have to sign a pledge of loyalty to the state of Israel to get a job. Like, you can't be a public school teacher unless you sign a pledge of loyalty to Israel, that you will never protest Israel, that you will never divest from Israel, you will never demand sanctions from Israel. But there were I think San Marcos was also divesting from Israeli bonds. Okay? And that they didn't want to fund Israel, that they wanted like funding to go back to Texans instead of Israel. And Greg Abbott threatened the city. Yeah. You might say, Hassan, why do you always talk about Israel? But it's like, am I the only one? Or is it especially the fucking states like Texas that are extra psychotic about this stuff? Texas City tells people no Hurricane Harvey aid unless they promise not to boycott Israel. That's from 2017. Texas City has required residents who are seeking government disaster relief funds in the wake of Hurricane Harvey to pledge not to boycott Israel. Like, Texas is one of the worst states for this shit, okay? Texas is one of the worst states for like Israel loyalty stuff, okay? I don't think you guys understand how bad it is. King Imam says you cannot boycott/divest from energy companies, Israel, or firearm companies if you receive money from the state. It's written into law. Yeah, this was what it was. San Marcos wanted $4.4 million in resident taxes to not go to Israel, but instead to redirect those funds towards essential domestic priorities. That's what Greg Abbott said was anti-Semitic. Okay? I mean, it just sounds fucking insane. Threatened to pull from for wanting to redirect 4.4 million in funds in taxes away from back to domestic spending. Okay. Does this make sense, or is this confusing? Good time to remind people that Greg Abbott threatened to pull all state funds from a Texas city for wanting to redirect 4.4 million in taxes away from Israel back to domestic spending. That makes sense, right? Phoenix emoji, thank you for the 10 gifted subs. Yeah. And they also could have funded more warning, more alarm systems and more funding systems, and they chose not to. Extreme weather events aren't a new phenomenon in Texas, according to data from National Centers for Environmental Information, woke and gay, okay, obviously, NCEI, more like, I don't know, I don't have anything, never mind. NCEI, sounds like DEI, exactly. Yeah, like, look at this. A city of 70,000 plan to vote to reallocate the millions of dollars it sends to Israel to domestic priorities instead. America First Republican Greg Abbott calls this anti-Semitic and threatens to withhold state funding. Of course, this only happens with one particular foreign nation. Yeah, I got a Steam invite from Saikuno to play Peak, which I will not be doing right now. Obviously, I am covering the news before you yell at me, chatters. Okay, but thank you, Saikuno, for the invite. Good time to remind people that Greg Abbott threatened to pull state funds from a Texas city for wanting to redirect $4.4 million in taxes away from Israel back to domestic spending priorities. He called, said Marcos, anti-Semitic for this demand. Oh my God. Oh my God. I should have never even mentioned this. Everyone is being so fucking stupid and annoying. It's so funny. It's so funny that there are, VOD viewers, skip ahead 10 minutes, okay? Yes, I'm going to go on a fucking rant because every single person that's chirping right now would immediately leave if I stopped doing news coverage in the middle of the fucking day. It's 12:41. You guys are so goddamn annoying. Shut up. Okay, I have to do news. I didn't get to do all of the news that I wanted to do yesterday because I had Stavros and Noah Colwin in the building. Please stop being annoying, chatters, okay? Gaming will return when I return back to Los Angeles. Bro, can you please game on your travel laptop when you're in New York City when there's a flood plus ice raids happening? Thanks. Exactly. So, yeah. If you want to understand the priorities in terms of expenditure, the frequency of costly and deadly weather events has steadily increased since the 1980s. I wonder why. When an average of 1.4 disasters totaled billions of dollars in damage or more per year to a peak of 20 events in 2024. But in recent years, even with the increasing threat of natural disasters, Texas lawmakers and officials have largely been asleep at the wheel, unable or unwilling to take better precautions that, in hindsight, seem both necessary and painfully obvious. This most recent disaster, a catastrophic flash flood in Texas Hill Country that has taken the lives of at least 100 people, including at least 27 campers and counselors at Camp Mystic, began to escalate in the early hours of Friday while most were sleeping. Over the prior 2 days, the National Weather Service had issued a series of emergency weather alerts. So had the Texas Division of Emergency Management. On Wednesday, the Division of Emergency Management activated emergency response resources across 10 state agencies because of increased threats of flooding in West and Central Texas ahead of the holiday weekend, and it escalated those resources Thursday. Flood watches distributed out of the Austin-San Antonio Regional National Weather Service office Wednesday named several counties, including Kerr, and a list of specific towns, including Hunt, where Camp Mystic is located. Flooding was anticipated, but per most local officials, not to the degree that ultimately it occurred. Texas Emergency Management Chief Nim Kidd said at a news conference that the forecast from the National Weather Service did not predict the amount of rain that we saw. It wasn't until 4 a.m. on Independence Day that the National Weather Service sent out an emergency alert urging residents to find higher ground and a series of subsequent and increasingly alarmed alerts from 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. But according to a CBS News analyst, Kerr County didn't initiate any messages through its integrated public alert warning system used to send emergency texts from local government agencies. As a result, many swept up in the floods were caught by surprise, particularly in Kerr County, which doesn't have an emergency warning siren system, despite the topic being a subject of local government discussion for some time. Yeah, this is actually the tragic comedy here, which is that this is the Texas local government and state government version of it was on our radar. Okay, you know how the FBI will be like, oh, this person was on our radar in the aftermath of like a tragic mass shooting event or whatever. It's like, oh, this could have been prevented, but he was on our radar, but we just didn't do anything. This is basically the version of that, but for extreme weather incidents. Nearly a decade ago, the county had considered a system of sirens, but that wasn't pursued because of the high expense required and a rejected 2018 application for a $1 million grant from the Upper Guadalupe River Authority, which offered to cover only 5% of the estimated cost. As recently as 2023, the County Commissioner's Court was still discussing grant options, according to meeting minutes. Lacking support from the state or regional agency, Kerr County, with a budget of tens of millions, decided it couldn't afford it. Kerr County Judge Rob Kelly, the county's top elected official, told the New York Times in a recent interview, taxpayers won't pay for it. There is a similarity with the devastation that was brought about with the recent California wildfires here. And that was expenditure priorities of the state. It is very similar in many ways because obviously it is an unimaginable escalation, right? Like, it makes sense that there is a limit to how much you can combat Mother Nature. Okay, there is a limit to it, just like with the devastation caused by the wildfires in Texas. There is a limit to how much you can successfully mitigate the damage and the impact of flash flooding. Okay, but these kinds of precautionary warning systems are an absolute necessity, and yet it is seen as negligible by people in positions of power. Here is a long effort post from r/Texas Politics from 3 days ago that dives into, with great detail, some of the internal politics of the state of Texas. I normally wouldn't rely on Reddit, but this seems very well sourced. Okay? A man named John Cornyn is referenced by Rob Kelly in connection with ARPA funds. The only lawyer named John Cornyn I've been able to identify in the state is a current U.S. Senator. Additionally, just last year, July 25th, 2024, Rob Kelly requested that Governor Abbott declare a state of emergency for Kerr County due to severe storms and flooding. These are the regular session minutes from 6/27/2016. Okay? This person dug deep and found the literal minutes of 2016 Kerr County, where you have commissioners talking to one another about the necessity. Commissioners talking to one another about the fucking necessity of alarm systems due to and the expenditure priorities being reallocated to alarm systems due to the fact that, flooding could be a fucking major issue. We had a baby flood a couple weeks ago, says Commissioner Baldwin, a month or so, whatever it was. And I keep hearing these reports of the old system. And I know we're not going to deal with that, though. Expect that to be gone, where the Jones called the Smiths and the Smiths called Camp Rio Vista and Rio Vista, blah, 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 all along down the line. But it's still there and it still works. The thought of our beautiful Kerr County having these damn sirens going off in the middle of the night, I'm going to start drinking again to put up with y'all. I think, Commissioner Moser says, I think this and that what the committee is going to look at and how to do it. I think the going in position is that we don't have to change anything. And is there a need to improve what we have? And I think the first thing to do is say, why change anything? It worked this long and maybe we don't need to do a thing. And then it gets into the thing we talked about earlier. And that's risk mitigation. And there's still people getting drowned. And Commissioner Baldwin interjects, says, and I hope you ask a question like, who are we notifying? And who are we trying to get the message to? Are they these crazy people from Houston that built homes right down on the water? Well, I think the thing is, you say it's for the general public and the crazy people from wherever they are, from Houston, okay, and then the camps. And then how to get the message out to those, that's all part of it. So it's a pretty complex project. I'm sure it is. And the question is, do we need to do anything? And what do we want to do? And what can we afford? Mrs. Stebbins says, Commissioner Moser, will you put it on the next agenda for discussion after you have this meeting on Thursday? Oh, absolutely right. Okay, thank you. I will comment that we don't have any crazy people that live here. The few that we do have, we handle them through CSU, or they serve on the board. I'm just trying to keep us out of trouble here. Okay, the media is still here. All right, any other reports? In 2016, Kerr County contracted for an engineering study on their current warning system, and we're told it was antiquated and inadequate. Okay? They did an engineering study. They found that their warning system was antiquated and inadequate in 2016. They had a session after it, okay? We have a system that's not working. We need to certainly look at it. Technology is great, but it's still one of the best things. So you may disagree with me, the people upriver calling, but because you're going to get a call, I've just received this year, I've received just this year from calls before it's even had time to warning to go off. I'm getting texts from Divide Fire Chief, and I think, where'd the sheriff go? I sent you a text the other night. Like, they have a fucking telephone chain as their antiquated ass version of alert systems, it seems like. Is this in English? I mean, they're just like free flow conversation minutes from commissioners talking to one another. The second part of the study contained recommendations for updating the system, and sirens were purposely left out even though other areas had implemented them. Como County has implemented a river gauge and siren system that includes New Braunfels, Guadalupe County, and the Water-Oriented Recreation District as funding partners. When gauge heights reach a certain level, emergency management personnel are notified and the siren is automatically activated. Emergency personnel can also activate the sirens remotely if they know floodwater is headed downstream. The data from each gauge, including river height and rainfall, is available online for anyone, including residents, to access. They filed for federal assistance via hazard mitigation grant for $976,000. Then they discussed the warning system. After failing to secure a grant, they continue to kick the can down the road. 2021 rolls around, and they have over $5 million in ARPA funds in their bank and will wind up with a grant of a total of over $10 million. So basically, other places that implemented these prevention measures, but Kerr County never did. And the reasoning for it was, as the judge said to MSNBC, is too expensive. So in the state of Texas, when a different county or San Marcos City Council votes to advance a ceasefire resolution and also wants to end their funding of Israel's military with federal and local tax dollars to the tune of $4 million, Greg Abbott puts a stop to that and says, we will defund you. You don't get to defund Israel. We will defund you. How dare you be so anti-Semitic? When it comes down to it, when it comes down to implementing warning systems for regular Texans living in a different county, in Kerr County, they say, we don't have money in the bank. Isn't that fucking nuts? Obviously, these two places are not directly associated with one another. I'm not saying like St. Marcos is could have spent some of this expenditure on Kerr County or something. That's not the argument that I'm making. The argument that I'm making is that the local state government expenditure priorities are so distorted. They're so insane. It's all a matter of who gets the money and how much they are willing to spend for certain spending priorities versus other spending priorities. And I have already shown you this as well. Texas City, during Hurricane Harvey, required an Israel pledge for hurricane relief. So it's one of those, Texas is just like one of those insane states where, one, you have to sign a loyalty pledge to the state of Israel to even get a job as a public school teacher. A loyalty pledge that dictates that you cannot ever demand boycotts from the state of Israel, demand divestment from the state of Israel, demand sanctions to the state of Israel. Same with, weapons manufacturers. You can't do BDS to them. And same with the fossil fuel industry. You can't do divestment from them either. Okay? It's just weird because Israel's a foreign nation. It's weird for a loyalty pledge to either of any of these things, right? But it's extra weird when you got Israel as a foreign nation that we have to fucking give funds to. Yeah, you have to sign a loyalty pledge to do any business with the city of Austin. Are there any other American? Is there another foreign nation that has this kind of expenditure priority? Are they in the state of Texas? Do you give multiple millions of dollars to Estonia? And if you don't give multiple millions of dollars to Estonia, or you say, hey, we have to stop giving. Why are we giving $4 million to Estonia? We should pull that back and focus on domestic expenditure priorities. Yeah, because MSNBC is a reliable source. That's so funny, VTuber Lance. MSDNC is not the most reliable source, but this reporting is not just coming from MSDNC. It's literally everywhere. This is just a summarization of things that we have covered already. And it's not even talking about Israel. Why would MSDNC ever talk about Israel in a critical manner? I am packaging that into this conversation. I'm also saying the truth. You can just like try to counter that instead of attacking an irrelevant source here. But it seems like you're too invested in trying to, I guess, undermine the argument by pointing to something that is completely irrelevant rather than recognizing the reality in the state of Texas and many other states as well. Coincidentally, usually winning teams say we got this before the big game. So, interesting. Just something to consider. Local officials not only failed to put in place emergency warning systems in an area known for sudden and potentially deadly floods, but they also appeared blindsided and unprepared to address tough questions. Kelly told reporters at a news conference Friday that officials had no idea the flood was coming, even though the area has a long history of deadly floods. Like, this is Kerr County Judge Rob Kelly, who we saw in some of the fucking meeting minutes that we were just reading. Okay? And this guy's like, oh, MSNBC, not a reliable source. Okay, take it up with a fucking Kerr County Judge Rob Kelly, the county's top elected official. Tell me you're fragile without telling me you're fragile. I'm fragile. Brother, you couldn't even handle, like, just a little bit of new information entering your fucking brain without throwing a fit. Like, what do you mean, tell me you're fragile without telling me you're fragile? What argument do you perceive you have won here? You came in here and you said MSNBC is not a reliable source. MSNBC's reliability is not called into question here unless you have evidence that Kerr County Judge Rob Kelly is being misquoted here. That's not how you tackle an argument. I'm trying to educate you on how to properly identify bad talking points and accurately address them. If there's something wrong here with my coverage, I would be perfectly fine with going back on it and you know, recognizing that I showed something that was incorrect, but you're not doing that. There are instances where I get something a little wrong and chatters will come in because we all come to you for an education law. I mean, many people do, as a matter of fact. And if you were to maybe be a little bit more charitable, you could also get educated in this instance. Like, I'm sure that you didn't know that you have to sign a loyalty pledge to Israel in the state of Texas to become a fucking public teacher, for example, right? This is new information that has penetrated your consciousness, even if you didn't want to learn about it. Now you have this information. You will hopefully retain this information. You found out about a city in Texas that wanted to reallocate $4.4 million in expenditure away from the Israeli military back to their local needs, which Governor Greg Abbott, the governor of the state of Texas, said abso-fucking-lutely not to, and it claimed it was anti-Semitic to make such a demand. This is new information for you, I suspect, unless you already knew this. I'm not falling for the rage bait. I'm not raging. This guy's following that Nux guy, Mark Dice. His brain is like microwave hot dog. Here, he is here specifically to be obtuse. I'm sure his parents have combos about him with his siblings. Still, anyone can learn new things. And I will not give up on that chatter, or anyone else for that matter. But who knows? I'm holding out hope. Texas public teacher here. Yes, we do have to sign a no boycott Israel form. I had to sign one for judging a different Texas district's band contest. Is actually insane. Yeah. And if it's not that person that learned something new here, in the process of me addressing that person, there are plenty of new people that do learn something that they previously didn't know, which is why I don't think it's a fucking waste of time and energy. Okay? So remember that. Let's continue. A review of the extant reporting on the disaster and the unfolding recovery efforts reveals a series of failures at the local and state levels. Local officials not only failed to put in place emergency warning systems in an area known for sudden and potentially deadly floods, but they also appeared blindsided and unprepared to address tough questions. Kelly told reporters at a news conference Friday that officials had no idea the flood was coming, even though the area has a long history of deadly floods. We have floods all the time, Kelly said. This is the most dangerous river valley in the United States, and we deal with floods on a regular basis. When it rains, we get water. We had no reason to believe that this was going to be anything like what's happened here. None whatsoever. Camp Mystic, the site of many of the confirmed deaths, was one of the several summer camps in the Kerr County area that weren't evacuated Friday. Camp Mystic restricts use of cell phones, which prevented counselors and campers from receiving national weather alerts and likely hampered response to the rising waters in the area, lacking evacuation sirens. Asked why they weren't evacuated at a news conference, Kelly said, I can't answer that. I don't know. Well, I think we know. How is being kind and charitable to someone like this?
You can't be MAGA.
Not when they go low, we go high. Libtard bullshit. Genuine question because I'm struggling here. What is this?
I am MAGA and a Christian.
This is crazy. I know we're not Kirk County. I know we're not Kerrville. I know we're not San Angelo or San Antonio. But hell, we're human beings.
Uh-oh, I think you woke up this morning misinformed. The hate's on the left, not on the MAGA side. What you gonna do, crybaby? Alligator, Alcatraz merch if I want to. And what you gonna do, baby?
Help us.
Wait, this is the same lady? Is this even the same woman? Or is this a different woman that someone just like patched together? And even then, I don't give a shit. Do you think she deserves to fucking die? No. Okay? Yeah, this is a barely literate person. Okay? This is a barely literate person who's hopped up on fucking fumes. Who gives a fuck? I don't want her to die. Okay? Maybe I'm brain broken, but I don't care. I don't care that this is a bad person, objectively, okay? I don't care. They're still a victim of a natural disaster. I would much rather spend this time trying to help this person and then simultaneously talk about how, you know, what I've been talking about right now, which is the priorities of expenditure in her own fucking state from her own MAGA politicians is what has caused this devastation to be significantly worse than what it should have been. Okay? It's not about like when they go low, we go high. It's about having it is about having a moral system that is built around empathy. Okay? It is about making sure that your first principles, your first priorities is around mitigating harm. That's mine. So when I see someone like this who's like angrily posturing about MAGA or whatever the fuck, interlaced with like this TikTok, interlaced in this TikTok video where like she's begging for help in the aftermath of a fucking hurricane. Okay, my attitude is to one, immediately offer help, and then two, use this as an opportunity for education so they don't make this mistake again. This is an impactful moment. Basically shutting this person off and just telling them that they fucking suck and they're stupid and they deserve this pain and that they brought about themselves is only going to make things worse. Is not helpful. It's not productive. And I think that this is a byproduct of being online anyway. If you were around this human being, okay, if you were around this human being, if you were, I don't know, visiting Texas or something, and she was crying in front of you like this, even if you knew that she had said some fucking horrifying shit online in the past, you would not have the capacity to be as like short with her as you are online. Okay? This is yet another byproduct of constantly experiencing things almost entirely online. That's it. Says you underestimate us? No, man, no. That's fucking ridiculous. It's the same principle behind like people chirping all the time on the internet, being like, Hassan fucking sucks. He's this, he's that. And then I go out in the fucking real world. I don't know what people have said about me online, but there's no bad blood ever in my interactions with people. Even like every now and then when haters or trolls try to fucking show up, it's a much more limited way of approaching me in the fucking real world. So I try to always think about like when I see someone online, I try to, and I have my weak moments as well for sure, but I try to see it as like these are human beings. They have the capacity to be misguided. Okay? They have the capacity to be violently angry, violently racist, but ultimately you have to be a bigger person and remind yourself that like they arrived at this way of thinking as a consequence of years and years of austerity, years and years of redirecting their priorities back to like marginalized communities. They've been duped. They've been fucking duped into thinking like this. So you still have to you still have to be as empathetic as you physically can be towards someone like this.
I'm going to tell you FA and FO. We're not going to help out anybody. Y'all been living on food stamps, EBT, Section 8 housing your entire freaking life.
Dude, there's fucking TV in the background screaming, and she's also screaming about EBT is so funny. Because it's like, she's talking about black people there, but I'm willing to bet that she also literally uses welfare herself.
And you're not going to do it anymore. If you can work, you're an able-bodied person, go get a job. I'm tired of paying for it.
But for God's sakes, Travis County, help us.
Have the day you deserve.
So yeah, when you see stuff like this, remind yourself that these are like normal human beings. Remind yourself that these are normal human beings and use this as an opportunity for education rather than an opportunity to fucking shit on this person, okay? That's it. I don't know what Good Trouble is going to say. I hope he's not going to fucking dunk on this woman. But yeah, we have an empathy problem in this chat. It's not just this chat. It's just online. We have an empathy problem online. People have no capacity to put themselves in other people's shoes in the same way that that lady has no capacity to put herself in someone else's shoes when she's talking about that lady is so hopped up on fucking fumes of virulent MAGA style white supremacy that she doesn't realize she's wearing the same fucking shoes as the people she's shitting on when she's like, oh, well, you know, no more welfare state for you. Lady, you got the same fucking shoes on. She can't even recognize that she herself is most likely in a similar predicament. So our goal should be to educate people like that, to be like, listen, do you take SNAP benefits? Do you have Medicaid? Do you have Medicare? Like, then you are actively advocating to take that stuff away from yourself as well, because someone duped you into believing that there are undeserving people that are taking advantage of the system, when in fact, in the eyes of the state, as they see those people that they've told you to hate. We have a severe lack of empathy online, and it gets only worse as a direct consequence of things having people having even less and less than they did prior. Okay, the less people have, the more vicious people get, the more ruthless people get, trying to take a crumb of the remaining resources for themselves. It's a fucking knife fight out there, and it's especially bad online. But here's a person we can all get together and shit on actively. If you want to get mad at like individual right-wingers, get mad at people like this. Charlie Kirk, on the deadly Texas flooding, the death toll likely would not have been as high if it wasn't for DEI.
The Democrats, they're so despicable.
In Texas, dude? Really? DEI in Texas? Are you saying Governor Greg Abbott is in a wheelchair? Is he doing the thing? He's like, Governor Greg Abbott is handicapped. We shouldn't have had him as governor. We need a governor who can dive into the water and swim and extract people himself, personally.
The Democrats are not lifting a finger to remember the well over 100 people that have died in Texas Hill Country. What you are not being told by the media anywhere is that the death toll likely would not have been as high if it wasn't for DEI. This Texas tragedy is just the latest example. It's not just incompetence.
Yeah, DEI, divert extreme investment. Divert extreme investment to Israel. That's what the I stands for. It stands for both investment and Israel. That's what it is. That's what he's talking about. We have never had more stupid people in the White House than we do now.
As a federal government.
Oh my Lord. Oh my Lordy Lordy. Oh my God.
This is DEI working to undermine meritocratic institutions and...
Brother, this is Texas. What the fuck? Wait, Texas is also doing DEI? What's he talking about? Did he think that this was California? What does he mean when he says DEI? Is he talking about divert environmental investment? DEI, divert everything to Israel? What the fuck's he talking about? Is there something going on in Texas that I was oblivious to? That is Texas also doing DEI now? What? It's a fucking red state. What the hell happened? Texas is so woke, they had a whole country full of Mexicans settle next door. I know. Some of them, when we drew the lines, remained in Texas, as a matter of fact. Hella Mexicans there. Teleprompter got the wrong script. Yeah, I'll have you know, there are Mexicans in Texas, dude.
More people likely died than otherwise would have because of DEI. The Democrats, they're...
Bro, this is also, like, this kind of commentary also is a direct consequence of people getting dumber and dumber year over year, where like he doesn't even need to make an argument. Have you noticed that there is no argument being made here? Okay? There is no correlation. There's not even a correlation. You can't even say like correlation does not mean causation. At least back in the day, they used to point to something. They used to like point to a correlation falsely, okay? They would do false equivalencies. They would do like silly ways of implementing logical fallacies to make a somewhat of a convincing argument. Now, it's just catchphrases, man. This is DEI. DEI is the reason why this is as bad as it is. And also because wokes. Yeah. Woke DEI in the state of Texas? Woke DEI in the state of Texas? That's what happened? Yeah, this is why Ben fell off. This is precisely why Ben Shapiro fell off, because at least he was like trying to make a clear argument as to, like, he was trying to at least like create some talking points that made sense to those in the margins. But nowadays, with increased political polarization and a lack of interest, a severe lack of interest in identifying issues and solving them, all you need to do is hit a button. It's like you could substitute reaching. No, I don't think that's a reach. I don't think that's a reach at all. Especially because like this is something that a professional political commentator would avoid. Okay? When I say something is a problem born out of capitalism, for example, okay? Or even if Charlie were to say like something is an issue with like socialization or something, like diverting funds away to like woke transgender surgeries instead of, like, I'm doing a better job of making a convincing right-wing argument here. If I was a Republican commentator, I'd be like, well, Texas actually had to reorient its expenditure priorities as a direct consequence of the federal government under the Biden administration to make sure that transgenders were getting bottom surgeries in immigrant detention centers at the federal facilities. Like, at least I'm lying, but I'm lying in a direction that kind of makes sense, okay? On the other hand, Charlie just goes, nah, Texas is a DEI state, man. Like, what the fuck? What do you mean Texas is a DEI state? I thought people voted for honest to God meritocracy in Texas. Do you see what I mean? Do you see what I'm saying? Like, there's a difference between like trying to tie together lies that make at least some kind of sense versus just saying a talking point. At least like talking points that Republicans used to use back in the day were like somewhat associated with the issue at hand. Now, they're not even associated with the fucking issue at hand. What the hell? And then when we're working through the details of like where the spending priorities were, motherfuckers come in here and go, that's MSNBC. It's fake news. Okay, man. I bet you love MSNBC, you goddamn libtard. Like, no, I don't. As a matter of fact, I'm not exactly fond of MSDNC either. I'm not a Democrat. I'm not playing team sports. I don't care. I care about issues, and I care about solving problems rather than assuming that one team is going to solve a made-up problem that I now believe is a real problem. At the state level, a similar failure to prepare for the worst occurred during the last Texas legislative session. A bill aimed to establish a statewide council to create a statewide emergency response plan and administer grants for things like improved emergency alert systems died in the Senate, with detractors pointing to the $500 million price tag as one of the reasons to oppose it. This shouldn't be about anything other than the fact that it's $500 million, State Representative Tony Tinderholt said during a floor debate in April. The fact of the matter is that if there was a flood emergency siren system implemented in Kerr County, okay, that they knew since 2016, people still probably would have died, but the numbers would not be as severe. There would be more people that would have survived this disaster. It's that simple. Okay? That's it. And as climate change worsens, doesn't matter if you think it's fucking woke, doesn't matter if you think it's a Chinese conspiracy or not, doesn't matter if you believe that climate change is worsening. Okay? There are tangible and immediate impacts, okay? like these insane flash floods, like the wildfires that rip through California. You have to deal with that. So it's crazy on the one hand. It's crazy on the one hand to just go, nah, it's not real, it's fake, it's woke, it's gay, climate change is made up. And then also not even try to build a proper prevention system, a proper warning system that will save people's lives in the very likely event that these things happen, that we know will happen with greater frequency and greater magnitude. It's also extra crazy, on top of that, to defund the recovery and relief part of this too. And we're doing it all. We're not only burning the candle on both ends, we're burning the candle in its entirety. We're dousing it in fucking gasoline and lighting it on fire. It makes no sense. And here we have another absolute moron, Kirsty Noem.
Government don't manage these disasters. The state does. We come in and support them. And that's exactly what we did here in this situation. FEMA went to an enhanced level immediately. But as soon as you signed the major disaster declaration, we were able to get them resources and dollars right away, just like you envisioned through state block grants.
In 2005, people were warned Hurricane Rita caused massive evacuations out of Houston and surrounding areas. Traffic congestion caused massive delays in evacuations. 107 fatalities were directly linked to the evacuation alone. After that, the city-state finally put in contraflow lanes to easily let traffic use both sides of a highway to evacuate. Disaster has to happen first for steps to be taken to fix it. And in 2005, people were warned, and just like today, they pretended it didn't matter. They had decades to be prepared for that as well. It's not like we are oblivious. It's not like we don't have scientists that are actively ringing the alarm bells with regular frequency. Okay? We do. We have these things. We've had these things for decades. People have been screaming about this exact moment for like 30 fucking years. And every step of the way we've gone, lol, that's just weather, stupid. That's just weather. You're so stupid. It's just weather. I was having this discussion about Don't Look Up with some friends of mine that were obviously annoyed with the smug tone that it took. Shouts out to Adam McKay. Love him. Friend of the show. Hasanabi head, Adam McKay. I didn't take issue with Don't Look Up. The reason why I didn't take issue with the bluntness of it, because it had no subtlety whatsoever, or even the smugness of it all, was because I think we're getting stupider and stupider. We're getting dumber and dumber every day. So I think that will stand alone as a brilliant work one day when people go back and rewatch it and go, well, this is exactly what is taking place. That's it.
Help them with cleanup, and we're still there in presence, and FEMA's been deployed, and we're cutting through the paperwork of the old FEMA, streamlining it much like your vision of how FEMA should operate, and it's been a much better response to help these families get through this terrible situation. We still are looking for people. We're still, we as a federal government.
I mean, yeah, we saw a version of this in COVID too. We saw a version of this in COVID as well, where like dudes were literally in their last breath decrying that COVID was fake. It's like, brother, you are dying. You're dead. You're dead. In a couple hours, you will die. And you are choosing to spend your last hours on Earth with a fucking ventilator shoved down your throat, talking about some culture war shit. What the fuck? You're dead. You're dying. Maybe I'm woke, so forgive me for being woke and lame and a libtard. But I don't care how much it costs to save people's lives. Okay? I don't care. I don't care what it takes. I would much rather spend the money on proper prevention. I would much rather spend the money on harm mitigation. That is what the government is supposed to do. What the fuck? It's crazy, man. It's crazy out here. It's actually because you rich, boy. What the fuck do you mean? We're talking about the government. What do you mean? Because you rich, boy. Okay, I pay more to the government than you do. And I'm saying use the funds adequately. Why is this CNN website just like busted? What is this? Okay, anyway. Yeah, some of Mamdani's far-left allies want to primary Hakeem Jeffries and other New York City Democrats, and they got issues with that. We're going to be covering that in a second. But, yeah, getting back to Getting back to the Jeffrey Epstein client list and Donald Trump's short response against it.
The president was asked about it before he took office.
Would you declassify the 9/11 files?
Yeah.
Would you declassify JFK files?
Yeah.
Would you?
I did a lot of it.
Would you declassify the Epstein files?
Yeah, I would.
All right.
I guess I would. I think that less so because, you don't know. You don't want to affect people's lives if it's phony stuff in there because there's a lot of phony stuff with that whole world.
In February, Attorney General Bondi fueled the fire.
The DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review.
Yesterday, she fought back against the criticism.
It's sitting on my desk to be reviewed, meaning the file along with the JFK, MLK files as well. That's what I meant by that. Also, to the tens of thousands of video, they turned out to be child porn downloaded by that disgusting Jeffrey Epstein.
But the effort to provide answers has raised even more questions for some. For CBS Mornings, I'm Scott McFarland.
New this morning, outrage among the president's own supporters over how the Department of Justice is handling the so-called Jeffrey Epstein files. In a series of scathing posts on Twitter, longtime Trump ally, fierce supporter Laura Loomer called for the president to fire Attorney General Pam Bondi. This all happened after a memo released by the Department of Justice and the FBI this week said that accused sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein died by suicide, confirmed that. The Attorney General also said there is no evidence that Epstein kept a, quote, client list, despite previously suggesting there would be some kind of bombshell. CNN's Elena Treen live at the White House this morning where this just doesn't seem to be going away, Elena.
Yeah, John, and it's not just, people who are in the MAGA movement, in the president's base, and I will say there's many. It's not just Laura Loomer, but many other prominent.
At least, the media loves hitting Trump on this stuff by constantly putting him, constantly presenting this as, him pissing off his base, promises made, promises kept, that the story continues, Because that's the only reason why they're covering this. The only reason why they're covering this is because it's a great way to hit the anti-Trump line, To be like, oh yeah, he lied to his base. His base is mad. Controversy. So I guess it's still in the news and it's still going to keep tuning people up and anger them even further.
People like Tucker Carlson, Steve Bannon, the list goes on, who have been really reeling from the drop of that memo that the Justice Department released on Sunday, essentially concluding, in their words, that Jeffrey Epstein died by suicide and that there's no so-called client list. But there's a lot of people as well inside the White House, the president's own officials, who are increasingly frustrated with how not just the Justice Department, but specifically Attorney General Pam Bondi has handled this. I mean, I spoke with one Trump advisor. They said that Bondi had bungled this case from the start by overpromising some of the findings that they were anticipating. Another advisor told me that this was a political nightmare, questioning why they released this at this point in time and the way in which they did it. Again, releasing this short memo and also leaking it to a certain media outlet. Look. Part of these problems as well that adds to all of this is Bondi's own claim back in February when she was doing an interview with Fox News where she said she had the client list on her desk for review. Now, she was pressed on some of these questions yesterday during the president's cabinet meeting and tried to argue that she was referring to the broader case. I want you to take a listen to both that interview, but also her response.
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive by President Trump. I'm reviewing that. I was asked a question about the client list, and my response was, it's sitting on my desk to be reviewed, meaning the file along with the JFK, MLK files as well. That's what I meant by that.
Now, look, we talked to a lot of different people following Bondi's answer there yesterday in that cabinet room who said that essentially they are not satisfied by that answer, particularly given so many people in the MAGA movement, so many of the president's supporters, and including even some people in his own administration had previously argued that there was so much more to this case, particularly wanting to unearth potential accomplices to Jeffrey Epstein, not totally satisfied by this. Now, the president, for his part, John, has argued that this is old news. He kind of dismissed some of the questions on this yesterday in that cabinet meeting as a desecration. And we are told that he's not acutely annoyed with Bondi herself. He was briefed on some of these findings last week by Bondi and the FBI director, Kash Patel, but still a lot of people inside the White House not exactly happy with how this all played out.
All right, Elena Treen at the White House this morning. Thank you. With us now, CNN political commentator, Republican strategist Michael Singleton, and Christine Quinn, the executive committee chair of the New York State Democratic Committee. And just to review some of the people calling for Bondi's head here, again, it's Laura Loomer, fierce supporter of the president, putting out these tweets. She needs to be fired. She has tainted the investigation. Elon Musk, one-time friend of the president, saying, how can people be expected to have faith in Trump if he won't release the Epstein files? And then Megyn Kelly, in Politico, pointed this out this morning, said of Pam Bondi, her days are numbered as a member of the Trump administration. I mean, Michael, this isn't just one.
Wait, what? Scam Blondie needs to be fired? Look, we all know what it's like. Your desk is a mess. You spill your coffee. Whoops, no Epstein list. Easy mistake. YouGov question showing bipartisan agreement that it was murder. Not sure, 40%. Was murdered, 39%. Committed suicide, 20%. That is amazing. This is from July 9th. Okay? This is yet another instance where the desperate media attempts to change discourse on this issue is an abject failure. Okay, your audio sucks. Wait, what? Really? I think I'm getting one guide again. Also, I need to do something here. I need to turn on the laptop camera and just do laptop camera for a little bit because I need to turn off the I need to turn off my regular camera to charge it because it just didn't get charged earlier, so it's going to be ass for a little bit. Apologies. But I need to do that for I need to do that so I can charge the camera a little bit. Your audio was 100% fine. Oh, CNN is crackling. Yeah. That's I know. It does do that sometimes. I don't know why CNN's audio does that. So yeah, it's Zoom. It's a Zoom call experience for y'all now. Okay. What laptop is that? It's a good camera? I don't think it's a good camera. I mean, it's not great. I don't think. Big drama. We'll do that in a second. We'll do that in a little bit. Big drama. Big drama. What's your MAC address, lol? I don't fucking know. Why would you need that? Not a single person defending not releasing the Epstein files on my half dozen or so Truth Social posts. The closest is Bannon level defense where Trump is being strong-armed. That's the minority, though. Yeah, this is like, listen, if this is an incredibly important thing for the base, okay, and it is for the Trump base, and Trump just completely botched the release after claiming he was going to do this. This is a real promises made, promises not kept moment. Okay? And I do think that people have the capacity to basically claim, Trump had nothing to do with this, or Trump's hands are tied when it comes to like ending the war in Ukraine, right? Like there are so many things that Trump claimed he was going to do and then didn't do, right? Day one, I'm going to end the wars in Ukraine and in Gaza, right? That was bullshit. He hasn't done that. But at least like there's a defense for it. In this circumstance, this is something that a lot of hogs care about. And I do too. I mean, call me a hog if you want. This is something that a lot of people care about, that the Trump administration absolutely has all the power to release, and they are refusing to do so after claiming that they were going to do. Okay? This isn't like, oh, well, through a long and arduous legislative session, we were not able to get you the things that we promised we were going to get you. This is directly something that these guys claimed that they were going to do, knowing full well that it was something that these people cared about, and are now refusing to release. That's why there are very few hogs and hogettes out there who are even remotely defending the administration. One of the funniest things here, however, is that when the Trump administration gets into panic mode, as they clearly are in this, okay, because they are in panic mode overall, Trump will probably try to hit the fucking parachute, hit the ripcord, and try to either throw like a dispersal mechanism here and try to shift attention away from this to something else in a way that like in a way that the admin, or in a way that like his, what is this audio fucked? It's scratchy. Is it? Why is it? No one else is saying it's scratchy. I'm getting 2 guide, potentially 3 guide. Anyway, what I was saying is Trump will try to get his hog audience's attention and move it in the direction of something else desperately. Okay. Also, there's a golden Kappa train now. So Piker Broadcasting Service is brought to you, the viewers, by you, the viewers. Your voluntary donations in the form of a subscription will allow you to use emotes and also support the show. That's the only way to support the show. If you're watching the Piker Broadcasting Service and you're thinking to yourself, wow, I really like this guy. How do I support him? How do I show my support for him? Well, you can do that by subscribing. You can do that by gifting subs as well for others. The Piker Broadcasting Service is only funded by you, the viewers, for you, the viewers. Your subscription is in the form of a $6 a month subscription or a free one in the form of a Twitch Prime by connecting your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account. Offer me editorial independence. Piker Broadcasting Service thanks you, the viewers. What is this? California officials are failing to protect girls on the playing field and in the locker room. The Department of Justice has filed suit. Going into the replies and seeing the big bad tranny rhetoric is not working on the right wingers is honestly amazing. Oh my God, they try to do it. They try to do the trans thing. This is either an insane lack of self-awareness on display here, or they enjoy gaslighting us. Officials are failing to protect girls. Yeah. Oh, they're talking about Jeffrey Epstein. Nice try. Why haven't you released the files? Someone said you were Florida's Attorney General from 2011-2019, ? And that's when the Epstein flight logs were public. Victims were coming forward with lawsuits. Evidence was in abundance, and you did nothing. You didn't do one thing. No probes, no investigation from you. Florida, wow, but here's your chance to do the right thing, but you won't because you need to protect Trump. You aren't about protecting females at all, stupid bitch. How about you protect them from the Epstein client list? Oh my God, they are trying it. They're trying to do the, hey guys, I know the Epstein client list is a big deal for a lot of y'all, but have you considered trans people?
Several weeks, the Department of Education has notified the Department of Education in California, as well as the California Interscholastic Federation, that they were in violation of Title IX. They were allowing men to compete in women's sports. Now, this is after years of their being in violation of Title IX. We informed them that if they did not change, that we were going to refer these cases to the Department of Justice, and we have done.
Will you ever apologize to Ethan Nestor? I don't think I've done anything wrong to Ethan Nestor. That's my friend.
Exactly that.
Thank you, Secretary McMahon, for all of your hard work. And today, the Department of Justice has filed a lawsuit against California Department of Education and the governing body for women's sports in California. We've made it very clear, only women in women's sports under Title IX. An example in California,
did you guys ban him? You don't need to ban this guy. It's fine.
He would have lost every race.
He said God is not real.
In women's sports, he won over 36 medals. Those medals should be returned to—
Oh my God, this is again. Oh, finally, the fucking trans deflection method is failing. This is like bringing this back to my personal experience. It's like watching the fuck Hassan parachute cord being ripped so hard that it doesn't work anymore. This is precisely what's going on here. They're doing the fuck trans people parachute cord, and people are not even remotely interested. Gunther Eagleman, shut up and resign. Sick and tired of you blatantly lying to the American people. They finally found something they're angry about than trans people being happy. I love that. I told you, we finally found something. And I said this would be it. I said this would be more impactful than even like not ending the wars. Like there are some who maybe fantasize about Trump being like more aggressive against Israel. You know what I mean? In the base. There were some who may have voted for him that are not immediately in the base, but voted for him nonetheless because they truly thought that he would be a peaceful dove. You can still continue duping those people, but this is a real schism. It's the dumbest thing to potentially have a schism over, but it's one that is obviously impactful for these people. So instead of getting them to go, instead of, you know, making fun of them and being like, oh, you guys thought he was going to fucking release this stuff, even though we all knew he wasn't going to release this stuff, we should welcome these people and help them radicalize in the direction of the truth. Because there are a lot of people who feel upset. W Trump. W Israel. W Trump. Hell yeah, brother. You're right. Weird time to say W Trump and W Israel while we're talking about the Trump administration refusing to release the Epstein client list. But considering we know that at least Ehud Barak was directly involved, former Israeli Prime Minister Ehud Barak was involved with the Epstein. He was an Epstein affiliate. He's like, this chatter's like, W pedophile rapist, bro. W. Thanks, chatter. Chatter's like, W pedophile rapist not getting. W. Victims of pedophilic sex trafficking not getting justice. I love that. Trisha Hope, national delegate for Texas, who is a January 6th activist, says, I have been to 42 Trump rallies. Oh my God, that's crazy. That's a crazy number. After the first impeachment, I drove to D.C. and spent 2 weeks walking the halls of Congress to encourage Republicans to support President Trump. I sat in the hearings, and I supported President Trump. I was there the night he was acquitted. After the 2020 election was stolen, I went to see 2,000 mules. I was livid at the lack of action. Oh, God. That's embarrassing. That's so embarrassing to admit that you got fucking duped by a Dinesh D'Souza production. God damn, dude. Have some fucking self-respect. At least lie. Okay. All right. It is charging. Okay, good. At least lie and be like, I wouldn't mention that if I were you, you know? I was livid at the lack of action. I contacted Dinesh D'Souza and told them I wanted to deliver copies to Republican members of Congress. They donated 200 copes. I went with a team of 4 to D.C. and personally hand-delivered each one. When it became clear that J6 was a setup, I started helping J6ers. I met with members of Congress on their behalf. I was able to get a donation of 435 American Gulag Chronicle books to deliver to Congress. She's like a trot. In her her effective praxis is just doing pamphlets. Okay, this is basically the American Trotsky. I would like to write many pamphlets. I wrote many pamphlets about the American Gulag. Myself and a team organized by Trumpertarian delivered 535 copies to every single member of the House and Senate. I worked for the last 3.5 years to help free the J6ers. I organized Trump events, became a state delegate, and then a national delegate. I recently made a donation to the Smithsonian in honor of the J6ers. I say all of this to tell you I am done. President Trump's lack of concern for the Epstein victims and his callous response to the reporter's question ends my relationship with him. I will not support a man who denies justice to the victims, who in this case are children, and mocks the question. Okay, I'm going to be honest with you. Controversial opinion time. But maybe these people are so stupid that they literally do think trans people are doing pedophilia. Because I always used to think like, oh, they just cynically say that. Like in an effort to just be transphobic. And it is transphobic to operate under the assumption that like queer people are doing pedophilia. But I guess these guys like... They are honest about their interest in combating pedophilia, you know? Is the noise gate turned off? No, it's not. See? You can't hear it. They say it so much, they start believing it. No, I think a lot of people I just assumed were just cynically saying that to smear trans people. Now I realize they're just fucking incredibly stupid and incredibly hateful, and therefore they actually believe those lies. And that is part of the reason why they hate trans people. Oh my God, Axios scoop. Netanyahu chats with pro-Trump Nelk boys. What the fuck? What the hell? We gotta make sure that the young American manosphere is pro-Israel. I'm here to ensure that the manosphere remains pro-Israel. That's crazy. We'll look at that in a second. Hold on. But yeah, Evan Lowsworth says they finally found something they're angry about than trans people being happy. Yeah, that makes me happy that there is like something that they genuinely care about. That is cool. Okay, let's continue with this.
Now, it's a lot.
Yeah, now Trump ally Laura Loomer, who has actually demanded restructuring in the National Security Council, is calling for the head of Pam Bondi, Attorney General Pam Bondi. If Laura Loomer is capable of getting Pam Bondi out, I'm going to lose my mind. That's crazy.
Not getting quieter, it's getting louder.
It's not getting quieter, and she made a statement that many believed was accurate, which was that she was going to attempt to prosecute the individuals, whether it's Republican men, Democratic men, who were engaged with Jeffrey Epstein and doing some pretty atrocious and disgusting things against young girls in young age.
I wonder, maybe there were people in the Trump administration who legitimately thought that there weren't any like Republicans implicated, and it was just like Democrats that were like pro Jeffrey Epstein or something. And then they found out that there were a lot of Republicans associating with Jeffrey Epstein. And they're like, oh, we can't release this shit. What are you talking about? This is like half our fucking donor base. And also half of the politicians as well. I'm joking. They knew that this was never going to be released from the start. And the only miscalculation here was the lack of response that they perceived. They thought people would not get incredibly angry. I think that is the only real miscalculation here. They looked at the situation and they thought, oh, they won't get mad. They'll forget about it. Nope. There will be people, as I said, that will get mad about this more than anything else. And why shouldn't they? This is a real promises made, promises not kept moment for Trump.
Young women. I mean, what type of society doesn't rally around protecting young girls and women? I've been involved with groups in the past wanting to bring and shine a spotlight on these types of issues. And my hope would be the top cop in the nation would take this very seriously. And she really isn't. And a lot of Republicans are scratching their heads, questioning why. I think this is a bipartisan issue. I think Americans want these powerful men, whoever they are, to be brought to justice.
And the president was asked about this in this cabinet meeting yesterday. Let's listen to how he responded.
Oh, God. I know. Newsom got the Jim Jeffries endorsement. Or not Jim Jeffries. Fuck. Jim Clyburn endorsement. I know. He's running. Gavin Newsom is running. I will talk about that in a second.
And are people still talking about this guy, this creep? That is unbelievable. I mean, I can't believe you're asking a question on that.
This response was so organic. I'm going to keep it $1.50. This was such a bad response from Donald Trump. It is actually like this is one of the worst things he could have said, and one of the worst things his administration has done in terms of like impacting the base, okay? I'm telling you, this is an issue of major consequence. An issue of major consequence. This is not like, oh, why do you care about this? Like, people love that you talk about this and other things like this. It's crazy that you would just be like, excuse me, we have more important things to talk about here. The only time Donald Trump is refusing to read the room is when there is something tremendously important to him that requires him to shut off that side of his brain. Because Donald Trump is such a fucking room reader that he will sometimes say things that no other president will ever say. Okay? even if he doesn't follow through on those promises, like he will just come out and say it. This is one of those moments where he just straight up is like, oh, why are you talking about this? Don't talk about it.
At a time like this, where we're having some of the greatest success and also tragedy with what happened in Texas, it just seems like a desecration.
Christine, the president's wishing it away here, but it was his own supporters, you know, people like J.D. Vance, not to mention the people we've all listed there, talking about the Epstein files all during the campaign. I mean, this was a thing that his people were pushing, and now he's like, nothing to see here.
Right, his people pushed it. His appointee brought it back up square in front of everyone with saying there would be prosecutions, things would be released, and now nothing. And what's a desecration is what happened to those girls and those young women. Not
Trump is hitting the no politic here. Israel number one. Israel number one. No politic here.
reporters appropriately asking questions, which are not new questions, but follow-up questions to what Pam Bondi had already put out there. And when you make promises to prosecute, to release information, and you don't, then all theories come up. And it's a terrible thing that there are people saying the president might be on the list. How horrible would that be? They can put all of this to rest by putting all the information out there. And you're right, this isn't Republican or Democrat. This is a matter of justice. And that is what Pam Bondi should be focused on.
Just accuse anyone who wants a list of anti-Semitism. I'm going to be very honest with you right now. That sounds so dumb that they might actually do that. That is stupid enough to like actually be something that these guys would possibly try. This will create a wave of anti-Semitism amongst many in the right in Trump's base that already was like pretty fairly anti-Semitic, but that as a response would create new levels of anti-Semitism we have not seen in the United States of America. That would make like the pogroms in like Russian villages look like a tickle party. Okay, I think some of these dudes would just go insane if the Trump administration actively was coming out and being like, this is anti-Semitic. Why do you care about this? Do you hate the Jews? They would turn into Russian peasants. Okay, the American heartland would resemble the Russian peasants that think Jews are poisoning the fucking well, and eating Christian children or some shit. Nelk saying, let's full send genocide. Yeah, I know. I'm gonna look at that. Yeah. Google already pulled that card on the UN. I know. That was so crazy. God, that shit is so like, what are these fucking people doing, man? What are they doing? Like, especially if you're Jewish, like, do you have no fucking self-preservation? Like, are you not thinking about how this looks? Are you just oblivious to reading the room? Are you so oblivious to the crimes of Israel and how it is being perceived that you still continue this like false association? Oh my God. Guys not banned yet? Holy Twitch glaze? Are you talking about me? What happened? I thought you guys were free speech advocates. Since when? Since when did so many people turn around and go, dude, talking poorly about Israel? Please ban them, sir. What are you, the ADL? I think the MAGA cult still has a stronghold for people to deflect on the basis of Jewish exceptionalism. I don't know, man.
Upset about with Pam Bondi. I mean, these conservatives.
Mods, hecking cancel him, mods.
Megyn Kelly. I mean, even Tucker Carlson talking about this. Charlie Kirk had a post on X, and he said, even if Republicans were on the list, would you be okay with them being brought to justice? And overwhelmingly, the responses were yes, because people want to protect the innocence of young girls and young women, and we should all be about that.
And again, it was people within this administration promising it would be released. We'll see where this goes next.
Will this guy question his source of information now? You were supposed to be arrested and banned a year ago? Wait, that guy thought I was supposed to be arrested and banned a year ago? You censorship. What is the username? I have to see what he said in the past. What? I don't like Baby BB. Surprised he hasn't found a reason to shit on Mr. Beast yet. L. Chris. What? Yeah. I was supposed to be arrested. I was supposed to fucking go to prison. I was supposed to be executed. These guys are like QAnon. At a certain point, some of them are going to start fantasizing about like me already being dead and swap with like a body double. You know the way that like QAnon boomers thought that like Mike Pence was already assassinated by the deep state and replaced with like a body double, or like all these fucking celebrities were already arrested and trapped in a facility, and the current celebrities that you saw were just like simple body doubles. Like these guys are gonna start saying that about me. They're gonna be like, "This is not the real Hassan. The real Hassan is in a FEMA facility, and this is just a simple clone." Can you flex in the Zoran shirt? It doesn't look stretchy. Here, my titties, my boobs. Let's finish this.
This is supposed to be about the most transparent administration ever.
What on earth is going on?
Ha!
Was Pam Bondi set up by deep state FBI career officials? Is she stupid? Is she so click thirsty that she got out over her skis trying to make news, being a Fox News star?
Pam Bondi, all of it. All those videos are saying, yeah, she's seen the videos. It's all coming out. And then now it doesn't exist.
Inject this compilation of all the conspiracy hungry Republicans losing their minds into my veins. This is the sound of a string quartet. Okay, this is Vivaldi in my ears. Oh, amazing.
I mean, what? What?
Alex Jones broadcasting from his car. Okay, so how much of a political
nobody does it like he does.
Risk is President Trump taking by dismissing the priorities of portions of the base? CNN's Aaron Blake writes, everyone has their limits. Trump's giving them reasons to be suspect about his and top administration officials' intentions. And there's been at least some evidence of a brewing.
For those of you who are wondering, like, when is Mero and Brace supposed to get here? Mero, Brace, and Eric are supposed to get here in an hour, and then we're gonna hang out here a little bit, and then we're gonna move on and go out to potentially the Bronx, whatever the kid wants us to do. Okay, I want to knock out a bunch of news stories that I didn't get to yesterday. So yeah.
Backlash. Group chat is back. I have to be honest, I remember the backlash, many minutes ago over the strikes on Iran. And it feels like that's a way more significant and important issue than that. And everybody rolled.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think two things. I think
I like to do the craziest groupings of all time. Okay, Brace Belden and the kid Mero. Who would expect that? What a comp! What a comp! Oh shit, you should have Brace when you were covering this Epstein shit. I mean, we'll talk with Brace about Epstein as well, obviously.
Seen President Trump, this term and last term, be like a rain jacket. Some of these things just roll off of him. But here's the reality. I think we've all been afraid to say this. President Donald Trump is a lame duck president. And so some of these things we're talking about politically will not hurt him because he is a lame duck president. What I'm concerned about what's going to happen in 2026 with the Congress, with Senate. So I think some of these things are going to be harder for the Republican Party to talk about than just President Trump.
Look, I'll be honest. There's so many weird, bizarro, Addams Family-esque stories that people go down rabbit holes when it comes to the MAGA base. I've never read a Jeffrey Epstein story. When somebody complains that Donald Trump has not told us where Elvis is really living, I'm not going to read that ever, also, because Donald Trump is right. We have Texas, and we have what's going on with Russia and Ukraine. We have
but nobody
Iran
asked
and
Pam Bondi to make a bunch of binders to hang,
That's
to
fine.
send to the Twitterati. It feels like a cell phone.
I think the mental health of America or Americans is much better off not paying attention to those crazy, shiny things.
Well, to be fair, President Trump has also set up his cabinet to be these sort of TV, Twitter.
Right. Hire
So,
professionals.
Bro,
Yeah, exactly.
bro, who is this guy, bro? Get the fuck out of here. Who is this fucking loser, dude? Oh, guys, stop paying attention to this, please. Hey, this thing that you guys all care about, please ignore it. Please ignore the fucking, blackmail, pedophilia conspiracy? Are you on the list, big dog? What kind of fucking take is this, dude? Yo, that is wild. Nothing to see here. Nothing to see here.
Kind of baked in.
Yeah.
I do think there are a few different stories that we're all going to look at as like litmus tests of how far can the president depart from the MAGA base or press them. I do think like a conspiracy story that President Trump's circle spent a long time fanning until he came into office. And then they had to they were the establishment and they were the government and they had to decide what information to release is a little bit different than whether he's changing his policy on Russia the Ukraine or on how to handle deportations of undocumented migrants who are not violent and haven't committed any crimes inside the United States. Like, I put those in two different categories. They both may be tests of the MAGA base, but one is like substantively, unless you really think there's like a triple conspiracy going on, there wasn't any there to the Epstein files, and now the sitting president's administration has to say so, as opposed to a change in U.S. posture.
We also heard one of the folks in that video talking about doing it for clicks. This whole industry is for clicks, right? So I think the question, in a way, I'm kind of asking is, you know, if you ride this certain horse into battle, like, it was to their advantage to embrace this when it ginned up interest for him in the party.
I mean, this is the worst aspect of coverage. This is the worst coverage on this issue, okay? I'm sorry. This is not just about like, oh, they rode this wave, they rode this horse into town for clicks. I mean, there's truth to it, but like, there's truth to it that the Trump administration absolutely utilized the pre-existing anger, the resentment, and the interest and the curiosity that people have by constantly portraying the Democrats as like the pedophilic elite, okay? Ironically enough, it was not just the Democrats. Pedophilia, just like defense of Israel, just like constantly increasing the military budget, is a bipartisan thing that our elites do, okay? But it's crazy to just like only talk about this from the aspect of like, oh, it's just like, you know, these guys like overpromised, underdelivered. Like, that's one aspect of this, certainly. But I think what's more important is the fact that, you know, we want to know. Why are we not learning about this? Like, I want to know. I want to know who did the diddling. I want to know who was diddling the kids. I want to know more about, like, what is actually happening with this, like, blackmail operation. Why is our intelligence community doing this? What have they gotten out of it? Who were the people who did this, these kinds of crimes? Like, I want justice to be served. I want these people to go to fucking prison. What the hell? It's kind of callous, I think, to showcase this level of indifference to something that is so objectively harmful that virtually every human being can agree is like the worst kind of harm. The worst kind of harm you could do.
Major Garrett is also following this for us. Major, good morning to you. So what did you make of President Trump's response yesterday in that cabinet meeting, and how could this all play out politically for him?
It is unusual for President Trump to try to shut down an issue that has roiled his base for years, and this issue has. Look, human trafficking is a serious issue. It's a bipartisan issue. But the question has been very persistently followed by those most visible on social media and the Trump political movement. So much so that in 2023, an independent movie called Sound of Freedom, produced for $15 million, made $251 million at the box office, fueled by evangelical Trump supporters. That movie is about human trafficking, specifically sex trafficking. And all of this filled a kind of void within the Trump echo chamber about government, corruption, particularly Democratic, possibly corruption, holding all of this information about Jeffrey Epstein back. And the Trump world, meaning the candidate and those around him, promised absolute transparency, absolute clarity on this. And what has happened thus far does not meet the standards of those who thought that they would be getting more from the Trump administration than they got from previous administrations. One thing to point out, though, Tony, any conversation right now about any break within the Trump political movement is sort of beside the point. That movement got its biggest victory a week ago with passage of the big Trump economic bill.
That did not get any fucking major victory with the base. No one in the base thinks it's a good bill. That was also a lie. That was another lie from Trump, being like, I'm not going to touch Medicaid. Like, people don't even realize that in the next 2 years after the midterm elections are done, that they are going to, oh, never mind. I thought someone was knocking on my door. When the midterms are over, these guys are going to realize that they are losing their fucking Medicaid. Okay? They're going to lose their Medicaid. I don't think anyone's going to be happy with that. And those who do know about the bill are not happy about it. Yeah, I said cuts to Medicaid, more unlimited money to Israel, bombing more foreign nations, no new Epstein revelations, classic Trump.
You don't think this release from the Justice Department coming after all that work was done is timed sequentially? Then you're not familiar with how Washington works.
Who says you, President Trump, have done something that he can no longer sunbathe.
All right, let's get back to the money molestation. Another thing that Trump likes doing that his base doesn't actually like as much either. Even though they claimed that they liked it initially, but then Trump tacoed out on the money molestation initiatives once he realized the impact that it was having on the market. And then the base was like, okay, maybe we don't like this. So for him to go back on it, and then like add the re-implement the tariffs again, I feel like that's going to be a little bit harder for the base to defend. What is this? He wants to be Epstein so bad. I'm heading to prison, folks, and I need you to hear this loud and clear. I'm not suicidal. I'm not depressed. I have no intentions of harming myself, and I will not willingly engage in any sexual activity while I'm in there. Wait, what the fuck? Why did he add that part? What do you mean willingly engage? Like he's saying like he might get raped? Is that what he's saying? If anything comes out suggesting otherwise, consider it a lie, full stop. The statistics around what happens to gay men in BOP custody are horrifying, and that's exactly why I'm putting this out there now. So if something does happen, there's no confusion. I did not kill myself. That's weird. That's a weird-ass thing to fucking say, dude. Hey, I'm going to prison right now. If you think I'm going to have gay sex in there, just know that it's not willing. So for context, you were about to talk about the money getting touched while the Bitcoin is potentially starting the short squeeze. It burns when I pee. You got to get that checked out, big dog. You got to go to the doctor for that. Can you recommend a good personal trainer? Is it okay to sit down to pee? It's okay to sit down to pee, but if it's burning when you're peeing, you probably got to go to the doctor, my man. Oh, here's Donald Trump having another Trump-ass moment, by the way. Breaking. In a completely embarrassing moment, Donald Trump told the Liberian president these words.
I want to thank you so much for this opportunity. Well, thank you. It's such good English, such beautiful. Where did you learn to speak so beautifully? Where were you educated? Where? In Liberia? Yes, sir. Well, that's very interesting.
Liberian language. Huh. That's interesting. Where did you learn it? It's so beautiful. I know many blacks from Africa don't speak English so beautiful. Where did you learn it? It's like, dude, you are the president. How the fuck do you not know the history of Liberia? You are the American president. You're the president of the United States of America. How the fuck do you not know, A, the history of Liberia, and B, the official language of Liberia? Yeah. I thought many of you people, I did not. He literally didn't even say, he said, were you educated? Like, as in, like, he thinks that the leader of Liberia is supposed to not even go to school. Like, I don't know what the fuck was going on in his mind. Look at this.
Were you educated where?
Were you educated where? Yeah, fucking, of course he was educated, man. What are you talking about? You're so articulate. Many blacks. I wouldn't say that about, but you, I say articulate. This is like he's not even doing the you're so articulate meme to a black person. This is like 17 steps worse than that. It's fucking insane. This is the type of quote unquote gaffe that would lead in the media for at least a week in the past. George W. Bush, George H.W. Bush, Ronald Reagan. Like for the record, Ronald Reagan was just as racist as Donald Trump is, if not more racist. But like that kind of shit he kept to the private phone conversations. You know what I mean? When he was calling like African diplomats like monkeys and shit, which is real, by the way. Look it up. He had phone conversations with Richard Nixon where he said African diplomats, he's surprised that African leaders even wear shoes. Yeah, that's a real fucking thing that Ronald Reagan said. Now, of course, he said that in private correspondence and not in public. But I don't think even Ronald Reagan would say that directly to the Liberian leader.
Yes, sir. In Liberia? Yes, sir. Well, that's very interesting. It's beautiful English. Sure. I have people at this table can't speak nearly as well, and they come from...
Wait, did they cut it? They cut, oh my God, they cut the feed. Representative Jeffries made a, whoa, okay, finally, fucking finally, dude. I tweeted about this last night. Randy Fine coming after, like, not just Ilhan Omar, but, like, there are so many Republican congresspersons alongside Randy Fine are basically clam posting about Muslims on this website every single day, and not a single major outlet has talked about it. Not a single one. They are talking about Zohran Mamdani's SAT scores. They're writing extensively about how Zohran checked a box like almost 20 fucking years ago to a college administration, or to a college admissions paper that he didn't even end up going to, okay? He didn't even go to fucking Columbia. They're writing reports on this. No one cares that Randy Fine is like, Muslims are violent, barbaric demons. Like, that's what he keeps posting every day. Every fucking day. That tub of lard of a person is routinely, like, oh my God. Kind of like how you get special treatment on Twitch, law. Klansmen have and always will be Democrats. All enemies of the Jews have always been fair game. Muslims, Christians, whites. Islam is cancer. We don't want it in our country. Shut up. Clam post, get the fuck out. Bro, the only people taking you seriously these days are autistic furries who jerk off to cartoons. I fucking hate this goddamn platform, man. It is so ass. It is so fucking ass, dude. It's crazy. Anyway, not trying to bring back 2016 woke here, but come on. Hard not to notice how heinous you're allowed to be as long as you're committed to Israel. Well, here it is. We got Hakeem Jeffries, at least. This will probably drive discourse a little bit. I suspect this will cause the media to cover it a little bit. Our statement in connection with Randy Fine's Islamophobic attack against Congresswoman Ilhan Omar. The unhinged, racist, and Islamophobic comments made by Randy Fine about Representative Ilhan Omar are bigoted and disgusting. We're just weeks removed from heinous acts of political violence targeting elected officials in Minnesota for assassination. This is an incredibly difficult time for our nation, and members of Congress should be solving problems for the American people, not inciting violence. Randy Fine must apologize immediately. Notice how the college he applied to gives a damn that that happened? Like, you know what? Does it have to do with this article? Maybe. We'll cover that in a second. Oh, someone photoshopped his ass so hard he had to get up from it. Get up from his ass with his own gravitational pull and do something. Yeah, Randy Fine should be censured and expelled from Congress. This is what was going on, by the way. Ilhan Omar, this is Benjamin Netanyahu's third visit to D.C. this year. War criminals should not be welcomed by any president or Congress. He should be held accountable for his crimes, not platformed. Beyond shameful. I'm sure it is difficult to see us welcome the killer of so many of your fellow Muslim terrorists. The only shame is that you serve in Congress. I can't begin to explain to you how much I fucking despise Randy Fine. An absolute monster. Okay? He is such a fucking freak. Yeah, they really do a good job of drowning out all the supposed anti-Semitism they complain about with this endless flow of Islamophobia, which no one cares about, okay? No one. I eat it every fucking day, okay? I eat it every day. It's fine. It is what it is. There's not really anything I can do about it. This is just the system that we live in. I don't think we're going to be able to change people's minds anytime soon, okay? I don't think we're going to be able to change people's minds anytime soon. It's just a thing that every person who is of Muslim background, Muslim origin, or in many instances just perceived as Muslim, even if they're fucking not, like a shit ton of Sikh people, for example. Like, all of these people, we just got to eat it. There's not really much you can do about it. But it's crazy. Wait, hold on. Hello. Thank you so much. Doors open. Yeah. Do you think people care more about anti-Semitism and other types of bigotry because of the Holocaust or because they're white? Holocaust, they're white, but more importantly than all of those things, anti-Semitism can be used as a weapon to shield criticisms of America's most valuable ally in the region, Israel. You look weird today? Wait, what? Why? Libs comparing Zoran to David Duke? Why do people that shit on New York City all of a sudden care who the mayor of New York City is? I mean, because it's a real threat. It's an ever-present threat to America. You can't have a socialist anywhere near power, obviously. You can't have a Muslim anywhere near power. You can't have a socialist anywhere near power. It's a Muslim socialist. Oh, my God. Cam is a bit blurry. Yeah, it's because I'm using the laptop camera because I'm currently charging my regular camera. if you just eat it, aren't sending the message that it's acceptable. Yeah, most people probably won't have sympathy, but unless people start fighting back against Islamophobia, how will it ever change? I mean, I do a good deal of that. I'm doing it right now. I'm in the process of talking about Ilhan Omar and demanding that the media actually fucking create some kind of counter pressure against this unlimited wave of Islamophobia that we're seeing. That's me doing something about it. That's me demanding something happen, you know? But there's a limit to how much, like I obviously have my expectations on how I have my expectations on like how successful that could be as someone who is a regular recipient of Islamophobic attacks every single fucking day. You just, there's this, like, see, oh, dude, as soon as I said it, look. Look, like, I'm in the process of talking about this, and someone goes, nope, they spark terrorist networks. No international should be placed into power in any country. Wait, what? No international should be placed into power in any country, period. Like, what the fuck? What the fuck's this guy saying? Yeah, I mean, Sag, as a black dude dealing with anti-blackness on a regular basis, I feel you. No, this is what I mean. Like, there is a level of, like, anti-black sentiment that every black person will instantly fucking rise up to, right? And there's past a certain point, like, every black person will come out and be like, this is fucking, shut up. You know what I mean? This is unacceptable. Shut the fuck up. And it's the same with, like, Islamophobia as well. Anti-blackness obviously is, like, way more nefarious, way more insidious, way more baked into the collective consciousness of, like, American foundation. So it's more complicated. But for that reason, because of its, like, newness, I would say, because of his contemporary application, Islamophobia is more deliberate. It's more direct. You can just, like, go around and just be like, oh, you're Muslim? You're a fucking terrorist. Like, anti-black hate has to be a little bit more sneaky because of the centuries of anti-blackness that have evolved. And it's also a part of, like, America's foundation. Islamophobia is not a part of American foundation. It's more recent. It's more new. So it doesn't have to be more nefarious or hidden. Would you go to a country like Japan or China and take a political position? I mean, I have gone to a country like Japan. I've gone to Japan and have taken a political position in Japan that is contrary to the Japanese government's official position. I literally fucking went to the opposition party's headquarters, the Japanese Communist Party's headquarters, and interviewed members of the fucking Japanese Communist Party. So yes, the answer is fucking yes. In any case, you sound so disappointed, Hassan. Joe Biden's the worst president in our history, though. His career is riddled in corruption. They're all human. Iran is a terrorist state. Them getting nukes is a huge no-go. Why do you think the nukes is bullshit? Call it what you want. I just want this crap to be over. War is freaking stupid. They don't fight for none of that, Hassan, and you know it. If people are Islamophobes, does that make you a kosher phobe? No, that would make me an anti-Semite if I said something anti-Semitic. It's not kosher phobe. I don't know why you were trying to fucking make a joke about this. Which I am not, despite the fact that people will also, in a cynical and in a very racist way, try to claim this. Terrorist is context sensitive, is not inherently a negative term. It doesn't matter. Okay? Queer is dual use, okay? When a homophobic person calls someone a fucking queer, they're obviously using it as a slur. When I'm talking about queer liberation, it's obviously not a slur. Okay? We're not doing the one man's terrorist, another man's freedom fighter, especially because my analysis over like militant resistance against the state of Israel or against the United States of America, for example, and American imperialism is the academic context that we talk about. Okay? That is precisely the academic context in which I cover these events and these non-state actors, and yet I get called a fucking terrorist every goddamn day. Demands to what the fuck are you talking about? You clearly are dismissing centuries of Islamophobia that has led to genocide after genocide in Europe and across the MENA by European kings. I'm talking about America. What the fuck are you talking about? I'm Turkish. Do you think that I'm not very aware of European Islamophobia and the role that it played against the Ottoman Empire in particular? The fuck? It's a prominent part of the history that I learned. I'm talking about the United States of America. Islamophobia has never been a important fixture in American history. That's not a thing, especially in comparison to anti-blackness. Anti-blackness in the United States of America, anti-black sentiment in the United States of America is more perverse and more significant than anti-blackness as a universal concept, because anti-blackness is a universal concept for sure. Okay, but anti-blackness in America is way different than that. Islamophobia, especially in the way that we understand it, is like a post 9/11 invention. Like, it existed to some form against Iran and whatnot, but like never to the same degree. It never had such a stranglehold on American discourse until after 9/11. You are just factually wrong. Please stop. You are wrong on this. Columbus thought the natives were Muslim, dog. Oh my God, this guy is still, dude, Christopher Columbus? Are you fucking stupid? I'm talking about America, man. Americans, 1776 Americans. Shut the fuck up. It's not a comparison. Anti-blackness and anti-indigenous. He came to America. Oh my God, I'm losing my fucking mind. Guys, please see yourself out of this conversation, okay? You are misunderstanding my point. Anti-black racism and anti-indigenous racism, the otherization, the dehumanization, played two different roles, but they are foundational to American existence. There is no comparison between these two historically with Islamophobia. Most Americans didn't know what the fuck a Muslim was until, recently. They still don't fully comprehend it. Here, I'll give you a great example of this, okay? Countries like the UK, for example, where there is a large number of Pakistani migrants, for example, have a different slur, okay? The shortened version of Pakistani. Americans don't even know that that's a slur to use against brown people. Brown Asians. When you ask an American, like, who is an Asian, they don't think Indian people are Asian. When people think Asian here in this country, they think something totally separate. They think like Chinese, Vietnamese, Filipino, Japanese, Singaporean. They don't think Indian. Canada also is another example of a country like the UK where there is like a higher degree of Southeast Asian migration. So that's another country where that slur is used. Western Europe's terror both before and after 1753 at the thought of the approaching Turk never made it across the Atlantic. Exactly. The sick man of Europe. European Islamophobia is very different. That's not what I'm talking about. European anti-Semitism is different than American anti-Semitism. You have to remember, America is so far removed from Europe in proximity that like a lot of those cultural remnants didn't make its way over here. We designed our own different version of hatred, okay? That's my point. This doesn't mean that like Islamophobia did not exist in this country. I'm sure it did to a limited degree, never to the same degree as post 9/11 Islamophobia, which was directly crafted, created, and recycled in every fucking orifice of the media in an effort to justify the war on terror against the barbaric hordes of Islam. And even then, it's different than European Islamophobia. True, I'm Indian and grew up in a small town in Texas, and I was everything Middle East, far from Asian to them. Yeah. That's why I sometimes joke and say, like, European anti-Semitism requires too much reading for Americans to adopt. I don't know why we're having this conversation about different variants of racism. Euro racism versus American racism. That's why Europeans will always say, like, Americans are so obsessed with black people and blackness. And to a certain degree, that is true. Anti-blackness exists in Europe as well, but it's different than anti-blackness in America. Anti-blackness in America is foundational. Anti-blackness in Europe is certainly a very real bigotry that exists and persists, but it's not the same as anti-blackness in America. Yeah, they even use the slur for black people to insult Muslims. That's true. That's actually a really good point. They say N-word for black people. They say sand N-word for Muslims. Like, that's how much anti-blackness is like a prominent fixture I didn't even think about that. You're right. As someone who is a recipient of the sand N-word form of racism with regular frequency, yeah. But yeah, let's get into Trump and his money molestation endeavors.
In Mar-a-Lago, as you lie there with your stomach to the sun, a small drone might hit you in the navel. It's very simple. Do you think that's a real threat? And when is the last time you went sunbathing anyway?
It's been a long time.
Great question.
Been a long time.
Great question, Peter Douchey. You're killing it once again.
I don't know. Maybe I was around 7 or so. I'm not too big into it. Yeah, I guess it's a threat. I'm not sure it's a threat, actually, but perhaps it is.
Two Democratic senators now, Cory Booker and Alex Padilla, have a new bill out. They want to require CBP and ICE officers to have legible keys, and they don't want CBP or ICE officers covering their faces. Would you ever sign that?
Well, they wouldn't be saying that if they didn't hate our country, and they obviously do. I'm surprised that they would do it. Knowing a little bit about them, I don't know them well, but these officers are doing a tremendous job. They're great patriots. If you expose them because of statements like have been made by Democrats and others on the left, usually, mostly, I think probably exclusively, you put them in great danger, tremendous danger. And it's sort of funny when people picket in front of Columbia, in front of Harvard, and they have masks on, more than masks. I mean, you can't see anything. Nobody complains about that. But when a patriot who works for ICE or Border Patrol puts a mask on so that they won't recognize him and his family, so they can lead a little bit of a normal life after having worked so hard and so dangerously, there's a problem with that. So they have this is the problem with the Democrats. They have a lot of bad things going on in their heads. They've really become they've lost their confidence, number one, and they've become somewhat deranged. I want to do whatever's necessary to protect our great law enforcement people, and they are right at the top of the list.
And your agriculture department also announced this week that they are going to start limiting Chinese ownership of American farmland. Why do you think that the Chinese have been buying up all this farmland in our country?
Oh, hell yeah. Like, let's get back to some more successful conspiracy theories that won't actually won't actually impact our base as much. Now that we've flubbed on the fucking Epstein thing, remember the Chinese.
Close to military installations.
Well, I don't want to get into that. I have a very good relationship with President Xi. We're going to see, and I'm going to, they're going to be making a recommendation to me, but we have a very good relationship. As you know, they're paying a lot of tariffs to the United States now, and so I'm not going to get into that right now. Yeah, please.
Yesterday, the Wall Street Journal reported that the White House...
These are completely different issues. Is there any data to support ICE and CBP face higher levels of targeting than standard law enforcement? I just don't understand where this fear-mongering comes from or is based in any facts. I can see that. I mean, they are worse. It's kind of crazy to compare, but they are worse. I would say that, like the degree of, personal evil, ICE is the highest. Underneath ICE, you got cops, okay? Different to a different degree of evil. Then you got the military. Then, you got detectives maybe below that. But when you look at cops as sheriffs above regular local law enforcement, is ICE more evil than the CIA? I would say, yeah, I didn't think about federal agents. Yeah, CIA, especially old CIA. I feel like new CIA doesn't really do much. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think new CIA is as impactful as old CIA. It's kind of washed. New CIA kind of fell off, gang. they're not doing as much. It's just they got destabilized by the interest of capital to a degree where the private-public partnership has also come for the CIA, the enshittification of the CIA. Maybe being woke killed the CIA. Maybe. It's a facade. They're doing plenty. I don't think it is anywhere near as impactful as it once used to be. I think back in the day, the CIA was far, far, far more impactful than the CIA is now, and far more violent, like impactful and violent. That's what I think. I'm fixing the camera now. We're back. We're back with the good camera. We're back on the good cam. Immediate increase in quality. I think they just contract shit out now that just shitifies it. Yeah, that's what I mean. Brother, come on. I mean, look at the Venezuelan coup attempt. Like, that is a shameful experience in comparison to what the CIA used to do. I mean, even back then they fucking failed too. Like, I mean, think about all the failed assassination attempts against like Fidel Castro, right? Think about that. But then think about all the new like attempted coups that they just fucking kind of throw out there, where these like independent subcontractors are just like failing in spectacular fashion. It's really bad.
Was weighing whether to send another Patriot air defense system to Ukraine. Can you confirm that reporting?
They would like it. They've asked for it. They're very rare indeed, because a lot of systems have been sent to Ukraine.
NSA sold CIA spotlight. Like, drone pilots can do so much statecraft sitting at a desk in the U.S. CIA is mostly kinetic stuff, like ground branch providing material and info to actors in various conflicts. Yeah. But I do think that a lot of the CIA ops that used to work through this like network of civil society organizations and like institutions of higher learning, like colleges and whatnot, like they are nowhere near as impactful. I mean, this doesn't mean that they're not impactful. I mean, look at the color revolutions that took place. Like, they still are able to take advantage of pre-existing anger and resentment on the ground.
But they would like to. I know they made the request. We're going to have to take a look at it. It's very expensive system. It's a shame that we have to spend so much money on a war that would have never happened if I were president.
Like
That's a terrible, terrible war over there, and truly a shame. It's very sad. When you talk about a system like that, highly sophisticated, tremendous amount of money, and they're doing it because they want to prevent death. They're getting hit hard, very hard. So we're looking at it.
Wait, I thought color revolution theory was a bunch of bullshit. No, I don't think it's a bunch of bullshit. I think it's a combination of like real existing resentment, oftentimes weaponized and overtaken by groups that are tapped by the CIA. There are many such examples of this. There is definitely organic resentment, though. Like, there is, but they are very successful at like co-opting the pre-existing and very real resentment that people have towards their administrations. That is real. I don't think that there is any place on the planet where there is organic resentment against the administration that the CIA doesn't actively try to instill and then overtake. Doesn't mean that they'll be successful. The Turkish coup was a great example of no success. The coup that took place in Turkey is not it's an unsuccessful version of this. Anyway,
700 drones sent by Russia last night. What's your response to that attack?
Well, I've been sort of letting people know I'm not happy about what's going on. It's a war that should have never happened. It should not happen now. They're losing. Now it's up. I've been saying 5,000. Now it's up to 7,000.
This is a montage.
7,000 people a week on both sides. 7,000 people, young,
2 minutes ago,
mostly military people, young souls are dead and dying, and it should be stopped. Should be stopped. Very sad to see what's happening. Yes, please.
Sir, can you explain how you calculated your latest round of tariffs? Was there a formula that was used? And do you expect any of these countries to face tariffs as well?
The formula was a formula based on common sense, based on deficits, based on how we've been treated over the years, and based on raw numbers. And we're going to have a couple of more coming out today. Brazil, as an example, has been not good to us.
You were wondering where the ICE assault numbers are coming from. Well, there it is. ICE lets it slip. It's making up assault claims while trashing the tracker app. Not even ICE can remember its own bogus data. In response to CNN's report about IceBlock, an app that allows users to anonymously log sightings of ICE agents in their communities, ICE's acting director Todd Lyons claimed that the officers and agents were already facing 500% increase in assaults. This number isn't new, but it's getting a little ridiculous. Gizmodo's Matt Novak wrote Wednesday that when he requested evidence about Lyon's statement, ICE boosted its claim from about 500% increase to 700% increase. No evidence was provided for either figure. Allegations of increased assaults against ICE have come under intense scrutiny after the Department of Homeland Security claimed that New York City Comptroller Brad Lander had assaulted officers while being detained at an immigration court last month. And given that we saw that incident where Brad Lander certainly did not assault ICE agents, you can kind of make up your own mind about the veracity of these claims, okay? But a video of the incident showed that Lander hadn't assaulted anyone and that he'd been detained for asking officers for an arrest warrant. Fox News' Bill Malugin reported Tuesday that raw data provided by DHS showed that there had been 79 assaults against immigration enforcement agents between January 21st and June 30th, up from 10 during the same period last year. This figure isn't particularly terrifying, especially when considering ICE's embrace of warrantless arrests, masked agents, and aggressive policing tactics as a part of its sweeping immigration raids. It's also unclear whether this figure includes patently phony allegations of assault, such as those against Lander. There you go. The real number is 79. And also, in that 79, they're just saying Brad Lander is like assaulting an officer. Considering that they have claimed that Brad Lander was assaulting an ICE officer, I do not agree with those numbers at all. It's fucking bullshit, okay?
It's not good at all. We're going to be releasing a Brazil number, I think, later on this afternoon or tomorrow morning. But they're based on very substantial facts and also past history. You look at the past history. We never had anybody in the White House that understood the numbers or were into it like I have. You know, we've taken in hundreds of billions of dollars.
Brad Lander is the funniest guy imagining assaulting a police officer or ICE officer, by the way. Like, what did you do, jazz hands? I don't think that you can arrest my friend without a warrant. Like, is that what he did? And then he did the jazz hands? It's crazy. Please do not come to Brazil. How is Brazil not good to the U.S.? We just sold a whole bunch of oil refiners to private companies. Since 2016, we had a directive for price parity on the dollar for barrels of oil. Yeah, no, Brazil is very good to the United States, but it doesn't matter because Lula is trying to get Jair Bolsonaro to be prosecuted for doing a January 6th. And Trump doesn't want that because he loves his little fascist demon. Yeah, see, President Trump threatens 50% tariffs on Brazil if it doesn't stop the Bolsonaro witch hunt trial. Now, I don't think this is, I mean, I don't know. I think that there's so much financial investment and so much moneyed interest here that he would be fucking up to perhaps release from the treacherous grip of Lula, the most hospitalized man on the planet, Jair Bolsonaro. So if he's not going to prison, if he's not going to the Gulag, he's gonna be in the hospital anyway. So just let justice run its course, you know? I don't fully understand why he's trying to save this man when if he's not in jail, he's in the hospital regardless. And it's also additionally stupid because, as Jim Scudo also points out, the U.S. has a trade surplus with Brazil. Jim Scudo. But yet again, this is a glaringly obvious example of the Trump administration using the tariff system to impact the domestic policies of foreign nations that are otherwise supposed to be sovereign. They're doing it again. This is an example of said reality. It's fucking ridiculous. Okay? Come to Brazil.
Tariffs, hundreds of billions, and we haven't even started yet. And it's going to be a great thing for our country. I think it's going to be a fair thing for the world. And we really haven't had too many complaints because I'm keeping them at a very low number, very conservative, as you would say, number. And we haven't had, I'm sure they will be complaining at certain points, but we haven't had complaints. We've been treated very unfairly by both friend and foe. And friend has treated us very badly. It's not even believable that for so many years, you know, I was using tariffs in my first administration. We had the most successful financially administration that there's ever been. This is going to be much better. But we got cut short with the COVID because I didn't think it was appropriate when, you know, Italy, Spain, you saw the horror show that a lot of the countries went through. So I cut it a little bit short, but we took in hundreds of billions of dollars, and we had the most successful term ever from a president financially. But this is going to be much more successful. Yes, please.
Here to face tariffs as well?
I haven't thought of it, but I don't know. Let's see, I like him, and him. No, I don't think so. Not too much. He's very good. He's a friend of mine now.
Thank you for taking our questions, Mr. President.
Okay.
You talked about the amount of external revenue the country has brought in thanks to your tariffs. Can you talk about how these hundreds of billions of dollars that are getting brought in will help grow the country, and what do you hope to put it towards?
Well, bigger than the tariffs, actually, are the fact that when you charge the tariffs at a certain point, they say, well, we can't pay those tariffs. It doesn't make economic sense. These are wealthy countries, and they or their companies will come into our country and build, and that's what's actually happening. If you had a very low tariff, there'd be no incentive to do that. If you have no tariff, like we used to have, which is so stupid, it's not even believable, but then obviously they make their product, the product in their country. They have the jobs, they have the income, they have the taxes, they have everything, and they just send it into us, and it's jobs that we wouldn't get. Now the wheel is turned. And what we're doing is, more important, we're taking in hundreds of billions of dollars, money that we've never seen before. But more important than that, we have a lot of people that would rather not have to pay that. So they're coming in and they're building plants. AI, we're leading everybody, including China, by a lot with AI. They're building their own plant. You heard me say yesterday, they're building their own electric generating plants to go along with the factories or plants that they're building. If they want to do that, we're getting them fast approvals, very fast turnarounds. They're using mostly natural gas to start off, but they're using coal. They have the right to use coal. They have the right to use nuclear. Nuclear has come a long way in the last 5 years. So,
oh yeah, nuclear just recently came a long way.
Inappropriate and
Trump breaks silence on Gaza hostage talks after Axios leak. This is the other side of this. Trump met with Benjamin Netanyahu twice. Benjamin Netanyahu is back in the United States of America, war criminal, by the way, running around, doing whatever he wants to do, getting his fucking laundry cleaned. Classic. Went on the fucking Nelk Boys podcast, apparently, which is insane. Some even say gallivanting.
outrageous. And I told you that that was Democrat John Fetterman.
Wow. It's, by the way, I assume when you read that, because you paused in the middle, you're going to have to read that again without the pause. Could you read that again, please?
To abolish it, to treat them as criminals or anything that's inappropriate and outrageous.
So he's saying that to treat the people that did the shooting is, oh, okay, good. Because the way you read it, it really was the opposite. But that's okay. That's all right. I think that's what he meant. No, the new John Fetterman is exactly what you said. He's right. He's right. And we have to protect our police officers, and we will. And we have been. If you saw the stats released by the FBI the other day, the murder rate's way down, the lowest it's been in a long time, and that took place over the last 6 months. For the last 6 months, murder, it's a hell of a subject to have to talk about, but murder is way down at almost getting to be modern-day records. So that's despite the fact that we have a lot of people that came into the country that shouldn't be here.
New Fetterman, what does he know? He's also, remember when people would say that John Fetterman was like, when he was running for office against the Republican candidate Mehmet Oz, the Republicans used to say John Fetterman got a brain transplant, like a brain transplant, because back then they thought he was woke. So did we, to be fair, to a certain degree. That's what he's talking about. That's what he's talking about when he says new John Fetterman. This is post-head transplant John Fetterman. What does he know?
Mr. President?
Yes, please.
So 2 questions, one on tariffs, the other on the IRS.
Yeah.
On tariffs, China is reportedly softening their impact on U.S. tariffs in Africa, announcing last month that they would halt charges on imports for nearly all of its African partners.
Good.
Does this move by China influence your thinking, your approach to tariffs on the continent?
Well, we treat Africa great in many different ways, including with tariffs. But, parts of Africa charge us tremendous tariffs, as you know.
Eric's here.
and they're going to be dropping those tariffs. They've already informed me they're going to be dropping those tariffs. But we treat Africa far better than China or anybody else, anyplace else. Yeah.
And on the IRS says that churches can now endorse political candidates. What's your reaction to this, and how do you expect this to influence some of the work that's afoot on the continent? There's a lot of American churches that are missionaries doing missionary work on the continent. Do you support that?
I love the fact that churches can endorse a political candidate. I think so, because we have
Many churches endorsed me, he's going to say.
A lot of respect for the people that lead the church, for the pastors and the ministers and the rabbis and the all different leaders, all different religions, and people respect those people. And I think there's nothing wrong. You know, it was a very big penalty if that took place just a little while ago. They had a thing called the Johnson Act, and it was a very big penalty. I think it's great if a pastor, minister, priest, rabbi, and we could very much go into your religion, by the way, which is something that people are having great respect for throughout the world. If somebody of faith wants to endorse, I think it's something.
You almost said imam? Yeah.
That I'd like to hear, and I can guarantee you, the people that they're with every Saturday.
The imamate should make impactful decisions. The imamate and the caliphate. Believe me, folks.
Saturday or Sunday, or whenever it is they're with, they want to hear from these people, and it was a very severe penalty. Those people were not allowed to speak up. Now they're allowed to speak up. No, I think it's terrific.
Your administration took new actions against Harvard University today. Are you still optimistic about reaching a deal with the university?
Oh, yeah, I think so. Harvard's been very bad, totally anti-Semitic, and
totally.
Yeah, they'll absolutely reach a deal. Peter?
I just got a text from our colleague, John Roberts. He says that we are now reporting the guy who was arrested in the Alvarado, Texas incident for tampering with the evidence was a green card recipient under the Biden administration and a prior DACA recipient. What do you think of that?
It's very sad. It's very bad. A lot of them are here. We came in 21 million. I think it's higher than that, by the way, but they say 21 million people came in. Many of them are criminals. Many of them are murderers. 11,888 is what they say are murderers. And they came in through open border policies, no checking, no vetting, no nothing. And we have a lot of that. And despite that, we have crime down, which is pretty amazing. Say hello to John. Say hello to John Roberts.
I will. I'm sure he's watching this right now. A lot of news has broken since we've been in here. Axios says a secret White House meeting between Steve Witkoff, Ron Dermer, and a Qatari envoy on Tuesday led to significant progress in the negotiations over the Gaza hostage and ceasefire deal. What can you tell us about this secret meeting?
It's very possible. I will tell you we're getting very close to a deal. I don't know if it's secret or not secret, but it doesn't matter to me. Secret's fine if it gets us to where we want to be. We want to have a ceasefire. We want to have peace. We want to get the hostage.
Hold on. All right, we got our guests are coming in, folks. Hey, that's Eric. What's up? What's up? Brace is up, coming up too, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, I'm Eric. Nice to meet you.
All right. You know what? Let me close this curtain so you guys don't get blasted. All right.
Good. I'm good, bro. No.
Wait. Oh, is that Brace here? Brace is here too. All right. Let's go. You are taller than I thought you would be.
That's what everybody says, bro.
Yeah. What the fuck?
What's up, Jim?
What's up?
Brace.
Nice to meet you.
All right. Hey. All right. We got our guests in here. I wanted to bring together the most eclectic group possible today. Are you familiar with TrueAnon at all? Is his podcast?
My guy?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Kid Mero?
That's a very polite no.
Yeah.
No.
It is. You know what it is, bro? I got too many kids. I don't listen to shit.
Yeah. If you have children, you shouldn't be listening to podcasts.
You feel me?
Yeah.
Unless you're driving somewhere with them and you want to entertain them.
No, you should be drinking.
You should definitely not be listening to the TrueAnon podcast if you're driving somewhere with your children anyway. For sure. It is the number one anti-pedophilia podcast, though.
Yeah, but I realize you can just say whatever. So you can just say it's like the number one local news thing. You know, billboards are cheap as fuck.
Yeah. I don't understand why people don't use them more. Because it's
Tim Pool uses them.
Yeah, that explains everything.
They're like $2,500 a month. Which, like, if you go in on that with people, and you could just put someone you don't like up
Whatever
there.
the fuck. You can put whatever up there, bro.
Yeah.
I learned that shit a while ago, and I was like, I don't know why people still don't use that. I think they think it's too old school. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's oh, that shit is corny, bro. Like, you on a billboard, but that shit is lit. If I'm going around somewhere and I see my face mad big on a billboard, I'm hype. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's because I'm 40. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you did TV, so it's like, it's different. You got billboards, no?
Yeah, I got some billboards.
Yeah. We don't know what that's like. No.
You got women all over the world being like, yo, he's so hot, he's so smart.
Oh my God.
I'm tapped in, he's so tapped in.
Okay, all right. Well, thank you for saying that.
Come on.
That feels great. That's what they say about Brace as well.
They don't.
They say that internationally.
He's internationally known, except for me, because I'm
Piss Big Granddad, Racial Jake, aka known by many names, Brace
Mr.
Belden,
Fireworks.
Mr. Fireworks, the Gourmand.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Although retired.
AKA Coindexter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's got a lot of the gay pussy eater.
Yes,
that's another one. I'm like, I don't want to. I'm embarrassing you in front of Mero here.
I'm not embarrassed.
I'm just,
The
okay,
gay
never mind.
pussy eater? There's no one else who's done that.
Yeah.
If you do that and you could quantify that, if you get like a certificate for that,
yeah,
that's lit, bro. That's not embarrassing at all, fam.
Yeah.
I've eaten mad gay pussy in my lifetime. You know what I'm saying?
All right,
so back cornrows. You know
so I'm not super tapped in with New York in general. I was a bridge and tunnel guy when I went to Rutgers back in the day. So like my only experiences with New York was like coming in on the weekends, going to Pacha. So that's what I did.
Is it like a Turkish club?
No, but it is a Turkish name. You're not wrong.
Yeah. But also it's funny because when I would go to DR, and you know, you stay in like the all-inclusive situations. Like when I was staying with family, they would have like a mini Pasha.
Oh, really?
Yeah, bro.
It's an international renowned establishment. It's an institution.
It's an institution.
Yeah,
Pasha with the little cherries.
I'm old, so the people in the chat have no fucking idea what Pasha is, most likely. And you don't. Is it even still around? No.
I don't think so.
No.
I don't think so. Maybe in DR, I see a lot of Dominican flags. Maybe they still got it in DR, and it's called Pacha.
Yeah, maybe. We got, One Oak. That's another one. Is that One Oak still around? I assume.
One of a kind.
Yeah, One Oak is an institution as well. They built one in Los Angeles too.
Isn't that like where? That's the place where Eric Adams is every night.
He beat, bro. This motherfucker. I said this shit when he got elected. I was like, yo, New York City, congratulations, y'all elected a club promoter.
Yeah.
This motherfucker is outside more than anybody I know, and I know a lot of outside motherfuckers.
Curtis Lewa also made a mention of that too. He said he loves going out. He loves being outside at night.
Curtis Lewa though also loves going out. Last year on 4th of July, I saw him at Coney Island Boardwalk, and I've never seen so many like 65-year-old Coney women surrounding him.
Yo, he's like, because born and bred New Yorker. You know what I'm saying here? You know what I'm saying? Typing in, letting y'all know. The reason he was the keynote speaker, bro, at my high school graduation, which is like
Curtis Lewa,
which is so embarrassing. His whole shit was like the Guardian Angel shit.
Yeah. The whole fucking racist paramilitary.
Yeah,
like
we put on the stupid beret.
Yeah.
The Warriors bullshit. I was like, bro, this is your claim to fame, gang? Going to the train and being like, yo, I got a beret, chill.
Yeah.
Like,
don't do graffiti.
I'm from San Francisco, and they deployed Guardian Angels for 1 month in the mission.
They
like
deployed
10 years
them?
ago. I don't know, they just appeared one day.
They deployed them.
They were just all of a sudden there was like a bunch of
like
kind of fat guys in tight shirts wearing the red berets near the train station.
Jacket.
Yeah, and then within 2 weeks they were gone, and that was it.
Goofy as fuck.
Yeah,
bro. And he's been running on that shit ever since, bro.
But you know what? I just found out because when I met him last year, he was surrounded by all these women, and I was like, well, he was flirting a little bit. And I'm like, I started asking him. I heard he lived with 19 cats. And he was like,
that's true.
I live with 19 cats in a studio apartment.
Yeah.
And his wife.
What does that crib smell like, bro?
It's gotta smell insane.
Yeah.
Bro, I had one cat that I did not get fixed, and he sprayed a pair of dunks that I had.
Yeah.
And them shit smelled so bad.
Can't get
it out.
Forever. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I can't even imagine. 10 cats, dog? That's hoarder shit, bro. That's when you go on TV and you're like, yo,
in
this
a
person needs
studio
help.
apartment.
There's no way that those cats are also not committing bird genocide. Like, he's definitely letting them out.
Yeah. Also, I just found out his dick doesn't work. He did an interview with the New York Post last year where he talks about his impotency.
He said that?
He's like, my penis,
like, I'm volunteering
it's
this.
done. He doesn't say why. I don't think it's not working. But he's
Because he
like,
fucked so much.
he implies that it's because he
fucked
cheated on
so-
his ex-wife so much that his dick stopped working.
Bruh. See, but that's why he got 65-year-old boomer shorties chasing him down the boardwalk on Coney Island.
He's like the sun also rises.
Have you guys ever seen him do a hate crime on Fox News when he's being interviewed by Sean Hannity?
Was that the one in Times Square?
Yeah.
He did it live?
He was like being interviewed by Sean Hannity, and he goes, "Oh, we got one right there." He's like, "We got an immigrant." And his boys start beating the shit out of this guy. And it turns out the dude, not an immigrant at all, just an American citizen that was brown, that they just beat the fuck out of on fucking camera, on national television.
It was,
Bro, this one.
I mean, come on. This
Look,
is
look at
the hairline, the hat line is insane.
Yo, to have a tan line on your head, that means that hat don't ever come off.
Yeah, it stays on during sex.
He doesn't have sex, man.
Yeah.
So it never comes off.
Wait, does anyone have the Chad? Do you have the link for the fucking hate crime? I gotta show these guys if they haven't seen it.
Oh, great! I love to get called to a guy's hotel room to watch hate crime.
Yeah, this is what I do.
New York, maybe get freaky up in a hotel.
Have you ever dealt with the Shamrim, like the Hasidic police officers?
Yo, you know what's crazy? So boom, right? So this is a couple years ago. I'm DJing, like fake DJing. I don't really want to disrespect the real DJs out there because I was DJing off a fucking iPad.
I think if you can disrespect one group of individuals as DJs, it's fine.
Well, I'm like hip hop dude. You know what I'm saying? So like the DJs that carry the milk crate full of records. I'm like, there's effort, there's work put into this. You know what I'm saying? If you just pull shit off the internet, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Hey.
Oh, that's you.
It's about to hit like crittles, maybe. But I was at Baby's All Right. You know what I'm saying? I was DJing there. I was playing a lot of Latin music that I seen a lot of Shazamming going on. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And when I left there, I don't know where the fuck I was going, and then my GPS started tweaking, and it took me through like Crown Heights.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like a lot of Hasidim area.
Yeah.
Bro, they kept jumping out in front of me like, yo, and I'm like, in my head, I'm like, oh, this is crazy. Like, yo, I'm about to get jumped. Yo, this is like racism. Yo, this is nuts. Bro, my headlights was off. So it was like 20, like, the Hasidic dudes being like, yo, turn your lights on, motherfucker, turn your lights on. Man, I was scared to death.
Well, it's because I will say that's a neighborhood where there's like a lot of little kids bicycling at like 3 in the morning.
3 in the morning?
Yeah.
Where are they going?
They're kind of going in circles.
The tunnel,
and shit,
B.
man. Yeah, my aunt's one. Not one of them, but she lives in the Midwest, but she's Orthodox now. And I think, like, where's the window?
Oh, she converted? She went...
converted from being regular Jewish to
what happened?
More Jewish.
She got stopped on the street?
I don't know.
They
asked, are you Jewish?
Yeah.
And it took me so long to realize
Yeah.
that, because we don't really have them where I'm from. And so these guys would stop me in the street like, are you Jewish? And you want to say, yeah. But then I was like, oh, you're going to make me do something. And so now I just say, no, not at all. No, I'm Italian. That's where I got this.
Yeah. What were they going to ask you to do if you were Jewish?
Right? You got to pray with them.
They asked to convert
Become
you.
an SNL writer? Oh,
yeah.
Become an SNL.
Yeah. No, that's if you went to an Ivy League.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went to Dartmouth, bro.
Yeah.
I'm Orthodox.
Oh shit!
I ran all Keenan Thompson jokes.
We got some news coverage here that I want to get to a little bit of news and commentary before we leave. But yeah, this is the Curtis Lewa clip that I wanted to show you guys. But I mean, I guess the time has passed. We're gonna move on from Curtis Lewa because he's.
We should go to his house, man. We should go to his fucking.
We might not all fit.
Yeah.
Yeah, not with the 19. Not with the 19 cats.
You don't got enough chance for motherfuckers up there.
Yeah, there's this is. Apparently, Trump had dinner last week with Joe Rogan.
Again?
Yeah, and Joe Rogan was speaking out against the mass deportations. He was like, "Oh, this is like really fucked up. I don't like it." And I guess he's in his ear urging him to back off the deportations of immigrant workers.
It's because he's short. You think?
He's woke now.
Yeah.
Joe's woke?
Yeah, he's turning woke, I guess. Oh yeah, we've seen the Curtis Lewa get hit by a taxi, of course.
Yeah, come on,
that's a classic. And then the other thing I wanted to talk to you guys about also was, you know how like ICE was doing the immigration enforcement stuff on like student protesters. According to Knight Columbia, this is the Knight First Amendment Institute of Columbia University. A senior ICE official testified that the agency assembled a team to investigate student protesters. The team rapidly compiled over 100 reports based on a list of 5,000 people identified on the Canary Mission website.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Yo!
Are you on there?
Am I on Canary? I think so.
Bro, you
probably.
on mad list, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I've already been stopped by ICE directly in Customs and Border Patrol when I was entering the country from France. But
it's crazy to me that there was like
can
a
I look
period of time
myself
where we're
up
supposed
on
to be
there?
scared of like Columbia students. That was like.
I'm like, bro, y'all used to get robbed on the 1 train.
Yeah, I'm like
this
I
is-
don't.
this
Yeah,
is
it's
bizarre,
Like
dog.
they had. I went there. Or not to school, but like I went to like when they were doing the encampment. Did you go to that?
not in Columbia. Not in Columbia.
I was like,
oh, I'm not. I'm not on
Zoran's
fucking.
on there.
Zoran's on there. He comes up.
Yo, that's crazy.
He comes up when I wonder if they like mention me in the Zoran one, and that's why my name came up when I searched my name. Let's see. Nope.
No.
Why the
not
fuck?
important enough.
I searched Canary Mission Hassan Piker and Zor. How am I not on Canary Mission? I was literally the runner-up for Anti-Semite of the Year.
I'm
you
shocked.
didn't win
I
Anti-Semite
lost.
of the
Yeah,
Year. You
I
didn't
lost.
win
I lost to
Anti-Semite
Candace
of the
Owens.
Year.
I lost to Candace Owens.
I know, but she's you know
But
what?
she is a real Anti-Semite, so I guess.
Yeah, she is beautiful though.
She be going for it.
I could change
She
her
be
in
going
an
for it.
instant. If she met me, she would.
That's what you think.
Everything would
That's
be
what you
different
think.
for her.
That's the black lady that washes her hair with just water.
It's
You know what I'm saying?
she's
There's
incredible.
there's
And
nothing
you know,
going on with
I've heard she's married to a gay guy, which is the perfect.
Yeah. Well, he might be gay or he might just be British. Honestly.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, they do tweet about me, but.
That's what it is, bro. That's what I call it
Yeah.
hard and soft numbers. Your shit is.
Yeah, Zoran, I'm dining with anti-Semites. Hassan Piker.
Yeah.
They hit me with a double S,
The
which is
double
not
S,
how you
come on.
spell.
It's Arab.
They want to make
Yeah.
sure that you don't get confused for a black dude. You know what I'm saying? They're like, yo, we want to make sure.
Are black dudes in America named Hassan with one S?
Yeah.
Oh, it's the one. Okay.
Shout out to my guy Hassan. Hassan Hussein, you know what I'm saying? Hassan.
Okay. In Turkey we do one S for Hassan as well.
But these motherfuckers don't know. 2 S's, 1 S, bro. They don't fucking know.
Yeah.
They'll throw 5 S's in that bitch.
But yeah, the federal government is basically, Felix says, our friend Felix Biederman says, this is absolutely fucking insane. The federal government is a deportation on demand service for convicted criminal Adam Milstein and his foreign intimidation racket. And there's apparently a Canary Mission Stephen Miller connection as well, which I didn't know about. Sturgeon's Law Post. In 2018, Forward published that the Kahanas board member of a shadowy charity linked to CM, Canary Mission, possibly as a front, was friends with Stephen Miller. If true, this could help explain how student activists ended up targeted by the Trump administration as a part of the deportation push.
Oh
Is he
yeah.
being-
So Meyer Khan was like, because he lived here in the 80s.
Who did?
I was.
Do you know who this guy is? Mayor Kahan?
He was like one of the Jewish community's biggest Nazis. I would
Yeah.
say. One of our
He's like,
craziest guys.
he's like
Yeah.
the Jewish David Duke.
He was great. Yeah, he was
okay.
like out of control. But he a bunch of his followers. I was looking this up for something because there's this. I live near Atlantic Avenue and there's all the different Arab restaurants down there. And I guess a bunch of his followers burned some down in the 1980s. Which is
Oh,
kinda
really?
Crazy.
I
Yeah.
mean, well, the biggest follower of his, Baruch Goldstein, went to Israel and literally did the fucking slaughter in the Cave of the Patriarchs,
Yeah.
where he like wore an IDF uniform, went into the mosque, and like all the praying Palestinians there, he like shot 29 of them, and he got fucking bludgeoned to death.
Yeah. That must have felt good.
As he should. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
To
you
beat
know.
him,
Yeah, it probably would have felt better if he just got nobody and then got
fair
brutalized to death. That would have been awesome. But yeah, he was a Kahanas. He was a follower of Kahan. There's like plenty of those dudes in Israel now. I would say like,
That's like
a
the
big chunk of Israeli society is officially on that position.
Yeah, I mean, they got
On Kahan timing?
Yeah.
On Kahan time. Yeah.
I don't like that.
Yeah. He was the rabbi for Arlo Guthrie, Mayor Kahan.
Oh yeah, Arlo Guthrie. Yeah. And
Who's
Bob
Arlo?
Dylan hung out with him a little bit.
I don't know who Arlo Guthrie is. Who is
He's I think he's Woody Guthrie's son, but
Oh,
yeah,
he's a folk singer.
He did like he had like one big song and then he had a movie too. But he was like kind of goofy. It was like a little Weird Al with it.
Weird Al. Oh, okay. Who's on there?
I'm mentioned on the website for other people when you search query Piker. That doesn't make any sense, bro.
That's nuts.
That, I don't know who these people are. Like Jay George, Motasem Mansi, Malak Ghazal.
Promoted 2 boys.
Isn't it crazy that there's a fucking website that is just like a doxing website?
Yo, docs.com, fam.
Yeah.
It's like
and
WikiFeet, but for more evil purposes.
They'll literally be like,
yeah.
they'll literally be like, oh, there's like a fucking brown person that's a nurse at a hospital, dox the motherfucker. Like, that's what this is.
Are you
They were
on
at a
WikiFeet?
protest once. I definitely am. Yeah. No,
There's
definitely am.
WikiFeet Men, actually.
Yeah,
this
there
is
is.
something I found out last year. There's a
Yeah,
separate
bro.
one, which I think they should combine, though.
Yeah.
Let's look it up. Are you on WikiFeet, Braze?
Hell no.
Yeah, no, definitely on WikiFeet. Because you know what it was? It was nasty because...
WikiFeet Men. You're on WikiFeet Men.
Yeah, shout out to my feet. It was crazy because I did one thing where I was like, this is what you don't want to do.
Oh, my God.
You should never
You
do this.
gave this to them.
Yeah, I gave it
You
to
have
them.
a-
I didn't... Listen, I didn't understand the fetish community like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't understand that.
Gorgeous feet.
That's what I said. I
Dude,
was like,
you have
bro,
5 stars on WikiFeet Men.
I didn't know that.
Bro, you want to see something crazy?
I thought my feet were crusty, bro. I get like a petty like once every 6 months.
Yeah, I will say, maybe the standards are different for men because I think it's the...
I think, yeah, you gotta be crustier.
Oh, my God. You're all over WikiFeet.
Yeah,
bro.
And
I
you have
have
a 4.72.
Yeah, it's because they brigaded my WikiFeed. It used to be more than 5 stars. Look, I have 489 votes.
That's tough.
All right, man. That's...
And you still saying that, bro?
Yeah, and then my ops, my ops came for me and they said like brigade his WikiFeed and like lower his scores. That's why that's why most of the scores are like fucking rating distribution. If you look at it, it's like mostly fucking 5 stars, and then
mad ones.
and then there's like a couple ones in there.
Is Obama on there?
Oh man,
just looking at feet, man. Yo, listen.
Michelle Obama. Oh
Whoa,
God, Malia
the
and
whole-
Sasha. That's
the whole
crazy.
family is
oh
nuts.
my
Whoa, look
shit.
at that action, bro.
What?
That's like Miss B Nasty levels.
Oh, my God. It's a whole shoot.
Look at, yo, hold the fucking
What
phone,
the
dog.
fuck?
What
Wait.
angle is that?
Who took this? A crab?
Where did they get this?
This looks AI, man.
Yeah, nah, it does.
Because there's no way.
Nah,
How do you
WikiFeed
get
would
that angle?
never do AI.
That's true, yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Policy.
If there's one remaining bastion of anti-AI is WikiFeed. These motherfuckers do not want to crank to AI shit. They want the real deal.
That's bro. How do you get that angle?
Hassan Piker watchers, if any of you have jacked off to
Barack
Obama's feet on WikiFeet,
Let us know.
please
Super
let us
chat.
know.
Bro,
I
this
would
is not
love
the-
to talk to you.
Bro,
You gotta
this-
pay $50 to let us know, but
This
please
is
let us know.
not. This is not the true and on tip line. Okay, I don't have that many freaks.
Well,
in
no,
here.
but I just want to. I want people to confess things to me because I've been.
Yeah.
There's a lot of.
I don't shame motherfuckers either, bro. If you jerk off the feet, you jerk off the feet. Bro.
I'm just curious.
Yeah, me too.
You know?
I've given it out for free. Wait, let's see what Michelle Obama
Giving it out
is.
to free for
the feet
Don't look
pics.
up, that's disrespectful.
Celebrity found, but not under the site.
Oh, because she's a woman.
man.
There's a strict.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
See, that's
yeah,
how you know
yeah.
they're not reactionary either. They don't even do the whole like Michelle
Obama's a man.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
Obama's beard.
Yeah,
Like, yo,
I
get
forgot
outta
I was on. I forgot I was on WikiFeet Men.
Yeah, this was a big mistake because I thought that doing that, because I was like, that whole series was about how you should not take your shoes off. Remember when RFK was on the plane coming out the bathroom with no shoes on?
He had no shoes on.
On the plane.
Go on a plane!
No, that's a biohazard.
Bro, if you look that shit
Was
up,
he
it's
washing them?
nasty work, bro. He went into the, bro, and this is like halfway through the flight. So like, you know, there's already been 10 young kids in there done pissed all over the floor.
Yeah, the floors are bad. in there,
Nasty
man.
work. And look, this is, yeah.
Oh wait, let me.
Yup, on the scene.
Let me fix
No,
it.
I would have felt so good to hit record on my fucking
Yo.
phone as he walked past
Like,
me.
yo,
doing
look at
that.
you, nasty freak.
A flight is now sparking a lot of conversation and is asking the age-old question: is it ever okay to remove your shoe while you're on a flight?
I said
well,
no.
a passenger snapped this photo of presidential home.
Nah, that's crazy.
Crazy work. Hassan,
That's crazy.
talk to me.
No.
Not
Coming
even,
out the bathroom, gang.
Not even like
Not
like,
socks.
bro. Oh man.
Not Crocs.
Even socks is like
It's still crazy.
It's
To
still,
go to the bathroom in socks is crazy.
It's still
but
crazy
it's
because
still-
you might
it's still
absorb some
dangerous.
liquid.
Yeah, it might be worse, but
and then you got the piss absorbed in your socks, and you put your shoes on, and then that piss is a part of you forever.
Oh,
It's
and
just-
you know that it's just and poor Cheryl, sitting next to him and just looking.
That's the
down
shit
as
that
he-
fucks her up the most. It's like, I'll watch Curb Your Enthusiasm on a plane.
Yeah, man.
On a flight somewhere, and I'll be like, yo, she's married to this motherfucker.
Yeah,
man.
and meanwhile he's sitting down and just sending endless dick pics to journalists.
Olivia Newsy.
Yeah, but respect for that though.
Yeah, dude, it is crazy. It is crazy that like I guess he does have like he's like a sexual panther, dude. I don't know how the fuck like women
He's the Kennedy, man.
Women very clearly gravitate towards something about this dude. And didn't Olivia Newton literally write about how he has like a smell?
Yeah, he probably does.
Yeah.
I'm sure he does.
But, like,
have a smell.
Airplane piss.
Yeah.
But they just like gravitate towards it. Like I don't understand.
Do you think he like
his moans gotta be insane.
Oh God, I'm coming. All right there. I'm ready. Oh please. Oh God, Cheryl.
I feel like him screaming when he.
Yo, we out here, bro.
You think
anatomy?
Can you do it?
I don't know if I can do it again. Do it again.
Oh, by the way, we have a little bit left here, but I'm starving. Number one, so we gotta go somewhere that you think is good to get food in a little bit. But we also have. Do you know what this is?
No, man.
This is Eric. What is this? This is Chinese baijiu. Okay. I'm gonna give you guys a little taste. Do you drink?
Yeah.
Okay, you're
No,
fine.
man.
Oh, you
I'm
don't
like
drink.
RFK.
Oh yeah, that's true.
They asked me to stop drinking.
I forgot.
Okay.
That's true.
Yeah.
Damn, I'm sorry.
For
I
what?
feel bad for
the worst years
asking.
he's trying to make me relapse on Chinese liquor here in a hotel.
I forgot. I thought you didn't do other stuff. I forgot that you don't drink.
You thought, just no heroin for me, Hassan.
Yeah.
He did
It's
offer.
California
He
sober,
texted me. He texted.
I
He
was
was
like, "You want some
like,
heroin?"
he's like, it's China white out here. You don't have to do black tar anymore. It's China. It's way better. It's from the earth. It's
Bro,
healthy.
it's the tan.
Yeah, it's all good. And they got the little stamp bags. I used to have a buddy who worked for the. Oh, I'm not gonna say where he worked, but
No.
he didn't work there anymore. But he would fly back from New York with like 100 stamp bags of heroin in his underwear. But he looked so normal that he would never get searched.
See? And then every time I go to DR for 48 hours, I come back and I just to check on my pops and shit.
Exactly.
I get yanked. Yo, Mr. Martinez, what were you doing?
Yeah.
Business and pleasure. I was like, yo, I moved 16 bricks of coke, bro.
To the Dominican Republic.
Yeah. In reverse.
Yeah, they want to party too. What do you mean?
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, spread the love. Okay, all right. Well, we got here. I'll give it to you in this majority report mug.
Let's go.
This is Chinese baijiu is 52%, 52% volume. It everybody that's tasted it says it tastes like shit. So don't worry, Brace. It tastes like shit.
Okay.
And it feels terrible. Don't worry. It doesn't feel good at all. You can already smell it. I opened it.
God, that shit smell like ass.
Cheers.
Salud.
It's crazy. Like the people who watch your stream might not know, but Hassan drinks a lot. Like he drinks like
I beat him.
Yeah, not just me, but he does.
I'ma chase
He's
that.
like 6 or 7 of those a day. He thinks he can get away with it because it's Chinese.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like gasoline.
It is, fam. I feel like I should be
like
wiping
it.
something off of a counter with that shit.
I like it, but I drink a lot and then beat Brace and also say slurs.
I smoke a lot, bro. I'm more of a smoker. You know what I'm saying? Because I drank a lot in my youth.
Yeah.
So now I just carry around like blunt wraps and shit and like buds of smoke. I drank too much, bro, as a kid.
Me too.
I drank whack shit too. Like it wasn't
what?
like good. Like just straight
Like,
plastic bottle. vodka,
Yeah,
like pop off.
Taco was
Alexei.
What was it? The fucking
Georgie.
Mad Dog.
I drink it. Well,
Mad
that's
Dog.
fortified wine. Not Mad Dog and Night Train and Wild Irish Rose. I like that one a lot.
Bro, whoa,
Okay,
you took
we're
it
making
back.
a fucking
Yeah.
relapse over here.
Yo,
No, I don't know. I don't even want it anymore. But it tasted so good. And you know what? And now they got these buzz balls, man. And every time I go in the store, I'm like, that probably tasted amazing.
Dog, they're this big. They look like candy.
Yeah.
I'm like, is this? Are we getting to like where the vaping is at? Where it's like,
Exactly.
yo, is this for kids?
Yeah.
Have you seen this new thing where they sell it for like $40? It's crazy at the like all the Supreme fuckboy shops. Is purple drank, but it's not. But it only has like melatonin in it.
Oh.
Dude.
No, but
Naturally?
Yes.
This week, though, they unveiled every fucking bodega now has fucking kratom drink in it.
They got
That's crazy.
Bro, a matter of fact, I'll take y'all around the corner. They got Galaxy gas.
Oh yeah, that one's classic.
Just like everywhere.
Wait,
bro.
does anyone have a video of
Galaxy
it?
gas is worse than Whippets.
Yeah.
It's
That should have you
there's
on
something else
like,
in there.
Yeah, they got, what is it called? I forget what it's called. It's like lean, but it's not lean. They just put melatonin in it and they sell it for $40. It is such a grip.
That's nasty. That's nasty.
But-
Because I got so much melatonin. I got 4 kids. You know how much melatonin I got at the crib? I could be the Pablo Escobar of this shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is it? MIT?
I went to rehab and I saw a guy smoke Seroquel. and melatonin off of tinfoil.
Smoke?
Smoked it in the kitchen.
What does that do?
Well, that's what I asked. I was like, is it doing anything? And he was like, yeah, like, damn, man. And I was like, there's no way. He was like smoking it off of foil. And I was like, I came back the next day and he was smoking something else. I was like, what's that one? He's like, it's Seroquel. It's an antipsychotic.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
why the fuck would you smoke
that? Probably worked, though. That probably did do something to him. There's no way the melatonin, it's a vitamin. It's like smoking vitamin. You probably could smoke vitamin B.
Yeah, hey, listen, bro. There's not a lot of shit you can't smoke.
That's true.
This isn't even it. Specs drank relaxation drink with melatonin.
That is insane, dog.
Dude.
Drank?
By the way, the fucking I am older than 21 came pre-checked. All you need to do is confirm. You go on the website.
This is insane. I seen like the fake, like the weed lean.
Yeah.
Oh, it is called drank?
There was like a time like 3 years ago, you can make a fake CBD drink and make a lot of money.
Mad money, dog.
Yeah.
They caught up now.
It's called Sway. No, I just know. I just want to show this TikTok of the one guy who like always will have like people come into the store to get it, and he'll be like, oh, you got to try this new one, and then he makes them open the fucking bottle, and then he literally makes them pay for it, and it's like $40 a fucking bottle. It's really crazy.
That's really smart.
It's like it's pretty smart. It's crazy to be like, hey, get a free taste, but it's not free.
It's not free at all, dog. Here's a sample. You gotta pay for the
slow-mo. I think that's what it's called. Yeah.
I've seen slow-mo.
Yeah, that's what it is. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it real quick. I need the show.
Slow-mo fake lean. What are we doing in America?
Dude, I don't know. This is it. It's always in like Hypebeast stores too. They sell it in like.
Yo, these is the stores in the mall. Chat. These are the stores in the mall with the fake fucking Dior Jordans and all the Fugazi. All the sneakers are like shrink wrapped in plastic. They wild fake. Yeah, fam. This dude got too many lanyards on.
Right here?
Yeah, they
got different drugs?
Drugs.
That's the red cream right there, but the best one is the slow-mo act pineapple. This is the best one right here.
Yeah.
Bro, you can't, listen.
And people were like in the comments being like, no, this is great. Like, people who have like a real, activist like addiction, like they just like wean off of it by drinking this. I'm like, what?
There's
this is
no
not the
way.
same thing.
It is, dog. You talking
This is
this to get people off of lean?
Well, that's what they're claiming it helps with. Because it tastes exactly the same, apparently.
It tastes like cough medicine?
I've seen some real, like, fucking... I don't know how I got on this, like, TikTok rabbit hole. Me and him, we love Instagram Reels. There's, like, an endless fucking well of depravity on there. But one of these days, I just got on this, like, TikTok rabbit hole, and I got to this dude who was, like, shaking and, like, fucking had a scraggly beard, and he was like... Yeah, this is the real deal. Like he was like drinking it. He was doing like a taste test with a fucking styrofoam cup and everything.
Why don't we go get some? I mean, if it's just melatonin, right? I can drag it, drink 3 or 4.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not drinking any of this shit. How old are you?
How old are you? It's crazy.
Oh yeah, you have to be
legally sell you this.
Yeah, you have to be 21 too to buy it.
To buy melatonin?
Yeah, I don't know why.
There's some research chemical in there.
Yeah, no, 100%.
They're putting fentanyl in the melatonin.
There's something with like 6 X's in the name.
Like 16.
Right.
For real? All right, come on, I got you.
So they're just selling prepackaged activists like out of fucking Hypebeast stores. Like that's crazy.
Fam, this is the most insane shit.
I'm not trying to snitch on these guys.
This is not. This shit is fugazi. You're not snitching on nobody.
I love commerce.
Yeah.
These motherfuckers are fooling y'all with corn syrup. Nasty.
Yeah.
They're drinking Caro and fucking Robitussin.
It's crazy that like lean got so popular because you'd think they'd invent like another liquid opiate that was like stronger
or better, easier to get and shit. Bro, lean is so hard. Bro, if you're in the Northeast, it is mad hard to get lean.
Yeah,
like,
I'm sure.
The only way I've ever gotten lean in my life was from my mother-in-law because she has like a bad cough.
Yeah.
Like she's old, so like if a cough could fuck around and take her out of here. Yeah. She needs that shit.
And so you stole it.
So you know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, this bottle is big enough for the both of us, Judy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I used to buy a bunch off this like Tagger dude, like once every couple months.
It's always the confusion.
Oh, this is the guy. I found the
slow-mo soda.
Look, this guy literally
$50 soda, slow-mo soda, exotic pop flavor, vanilla cream soda.
This guy's like, where you get it from? Chill, bro.
Relax.
Chill.
105 likes. Like, yo.
God,
We
man.
need to know.
If I own one of those fucking, like, remember when all those weed stores started like a few years ago? Like, if I own one of those with like a bunch of like the Marvel Cinematic Universe people as like babies spray painted on the wall and like a bunch of fake grass, I would have sold so much shit like this that the fucking police would have never even gotten to.
It's crazy. It was like the prototype is like remember the Weed World trucks they used to drive around New York?
Oh
It's
yeah,
like
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Buy a weed
There's
lollipop.
one parked right by me. Yeah,
It was always fake weed. So I'm like, yo, this is like that was like the precursor to this shit, bruh.
Yeah.
It's like now you go
fake lean.
Fake lean. Yo, they changed like 50% of the bodegas in New York into fake Zaza Palace.
There was like 3 a block.
Yeah,
Yes.
bro. And they were selling shit like this and old ass blunt wraps.
And you know what? And that was putting our hardworking serves out of business.
Come on, man.
It's true.
There's motherfuckers out here slinging for real. Y'all over here talking about, yo, just walk in the store and get some lean. That's not how it works, man. If nothing that is fun should be obtained super easily.
Yeah.
Like nothing that you could get super duper high off. You got to be on a mission, bro.
There was people I knew were like buying fucking mushrooms at the corner store. It's like, dude, don't do that, man. Like,
Come
don't.
on. You got to get them shits from like old white dude with a beard and
Yeah,
shit.
yeah,
like, you know what I'm saying? Recipes Val Kilmer. I look like Val Kilmer. You know what I'm saying?
Did he have
like,
a beard?
I think so.
By the end of it, maybe.
He did. But you know what I'm saying? Like that's who you get shrooms from.
Yeah,
Like I'm very racist when it comes to like the drugs.
Yeah.
Like yo, if I'm not getting like if coke, yo, you got to speak Spanish, bro.
Yeah.
If you don't speak no Spanish and you're trying to sell me coke, that's fat.
Well, I used to buy it from a guy albino. We didn't know what race he was. I'm serious, and we couldn't figure it out. We couldn't figure it out.
He's like, yo, it's albino, papi.
No, he spoke English, but it was like you looked at him. He had a feature from every race, and if there's anyone watching this from San Francisco, they'll know who I'm talking about. And no one could ever figure it out. He had good coke, but
there you go.
You know,
but West Coast, y'all, it's different in the West Coast. Y'all very close to Mexico.
Yeah, we
You know
are.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I get that Chapo shit.
No, but I have a similar racial hierarchy for drugs. It's true. It's true.
All right. Well,
I'm not buying no pills off a motherfucker that look like me. I'm sorry.
have you eaten yet?
No.
Oh.
It's 6 o'clock.
I don't know. I haven't eaten yet all day today.
I just ate some gay pussy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, all right.
Still hungry. You know,
where are we gonna go? Where are you gonna take us?
We could go uptown. We could go up to like there's literally a truck, bro, that is not even. I think you could if you try. It's so lit that somebody put it on Google Maps, but it doesn't have an actual designation on Google Maps. It's
Okay.
just this
Well, we're gonna Uber there. So like I'll pick a location that's like close to it, like a.
I
And
think you
then
can find it if you go on Google Maps and you put food truck 174th. It might pop up.
okay.
'Cause I got to it last
Someone already jukebox on 117th.
Mama Sushi. Oh baby.
Let's see. I'm gonna.
Mama Sushi or BBQs.
I'm
Listen,
gonna
man.
turn on the regular laptop camera here. Well, you can, Eric, you can take it out and start putting it together.
Wait, you have like a whole rig?
Malecon,
Yeah.
bro. You trying to eat? You trying to drink?
I'm trying to eat. I'm hungry. I haven't eaten yet.
You should get drunk as fuck, man.
No,
you really should, because if you don't, I will.
No.
That's on
Mama
you.
Sushi.
Don't
Chat, we get
even.
Mama
Don't
Sushi.
even. No,
We
I
get
don't eat any.
Latina.
I don't eat seafood. No seafood.
Got you.
Really?
Yeah, that's the only thing I don't eat. If it's from the,
Why?
I don't know. I just like I throw up. It makes me. It makes
And they
me,
put you on the anti-Semite list?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's crazy, and he doesn't eat
He don't even
shellfish.
fuck with shellfish,
That's
bro.
I don't even.
insane.
No shellfish. No nothing. No lobster. Nothing.
You don't eat
Crazy.
fish at all?
No.
Yo, you know what's
That's
crazy?
weird.
My wife is Jewish, right?
Yeah.
It's not a Zio, just regular Target
Yeah,
diet
yeah,
Jew.
oh,
you know what
yeah,
I'm saying?
oh,
Like
yeah, oh,
regular,
yeah.
degular.
You didn't have to clarify.
I'm just saying.
Suspecting.
But you know what it is? Motherfuckers will come at me because I'm like, yo, your wife is Jewish. How you with Zoran and this, that? I'm like, bro, because she's not a wild Zio, she's just a regular shorty.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
fuck? So anyway, I forgot what the fuck I was trying to say with
Oh,
that.
fish. Shellfish.
Shellfish, right. So we took a grandmother, God rest her soul, you know what I'm saying? This, that. We took her out for like a 99th birthday, some shit like that, bro. She loved Chinese food.
Uh-huh.
Took her out, sit down Chinese food spot, popping. She ordered sesame chicken. They brought out sesame shrimp. She ain't know. Started slamming it, bro, going crazy. Like, yo,
she was
bro,
like-
this
she
is
was
delicious.
keeping-
And she was like, yo, but she was like loving it, bro. Like, she had never had this shit in her life, and she was just going crazy. But she was deaf in one ear. So everybody was just like, yo, chill, don't
tell her.
like, don't say shit. She thinks it's chicken. Just let her think it's chicken, bro.
Yeah.
She's 99 years
she
old.
went 99 years.
Come
She
on.
probably accidentally had shellfish.
Let's make it.
At some point.
You have that.
I'm like, dog,
Oh
you
yeah, no,
can't-
I have had it. Like I
What happened? You turn into like the hitch?
No. I like periodically. I'm not allergic, but I periodically try it. I don't know what it was. Like I don't know if I had like a traumatic experience when I was younger or something. But like even like seaweed is like hard for me to eat. Like it's just
It's
like
the easiest thing in the world to eat.
It's just like anytime I get like even a little bit of a taste of sea, it's just I can't do it.
Really?
Yeah.
You're just like, give me some nice goat from the plains.
Oh,
of
yeah. I love goat.
Oh,
I'll eat-
Chivo? That's what we're
I'll
doing?
eat, I'll eat anything that's on the land. Anything.
Anything that's on the land?
Yeah, I've had crazy shit. You remember Liver King?
Yeah.
Who's gone crazy recently?
Yeah,
I mean, even crazier than he was.
I was like,
before.
crazy.
Yeah, he's like experiencing psychosis. He got like arrested by the police because he wanted to kill Joe Rogan. Anyway, but that's like neither here nor there. He made me eat when we did a collab. He made me eat like fucking like bull dick and shit. Like I've tasted it all.
I've heard
everybody like pause.
Yeah. It's like, I kept saying, yeah, no homo.
Hey yo.
Hey
yo.
I guess I ate fucking Rocky Mountain oysters in Denver, but they were fried, so it was like nothing.
Yeah.
You know.
And my favorite food my favorite Turkish food is sheep intestines, kokoreç, where they chop it up.
Really good.
Oh, it actually is bomb. No. They fucking spice the shit out of it. It's actually really good.
You know that place, 99 Favors, like the fucking hot pot spot?
Yeah.
I went there and I ordered a goat brain, and I thought for some reason it would be like
some wow.
No, I thought it would be like gussied up. Like I wouldn't. They just brought me a brain in a bowl, and you gotta put it in a hot pot. And so I'm like,
So you put it in a hot pot and you tasted it?
Yeah, it tastes exactly like you think goat brain would taste like. It was
brain,
horrible.
You got brain. I had an uncle be like, yo, our family's gonna be cursed for generations, bro, because my cousin, we was gonna eat a goat, you know what I'm saying? We was down on the farm, and he killed a pregnant goat by accident. And they were like, yo, no! Oh my God!
Wait, that's a curse?
Apparently. Shout out to Polito. He said that shit was gonna
it
was gonna curse us, and the meat was gonna be terrible. You know what I'm saying? Because the goat was with child. All my Latinos, let me know. Tap in. I don't know if that's a real thing or if he was just drunk.
I mean, you're just. It's like double the meat, no?
You feel me? I'm like, yo,
double.
It's like goat and veal.
Yeah,
1.25.
It's a turducken.
Yeah, dude had dinner for 2. Yeah, there you go. I'm Latina, he's right. Okay.
Count your days. It's crazy. I didn't have none of it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm good.
Are they all right so far? They've been able to overcome the curse?
Yeah, we've been good. We've been good. You know what I'm saying? Nobody died like in a weird Final Destination way. You know?
Yeah.
Just regular death.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been thinking of trying to learn how to curse people, man.
Listen, if I could learn, it'd be a lot of motherfuckers.
Would you do it? You wouldn't feel too bad?
Hell nah, bro. I got a lot of ops.
I would. I mean, if I could do like an easy curse, like not a curse that would kill someone, would just make their day worse. A little bit.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you were talking about like killing motherfuckers.
No.
I would definitely.
You could just kill somebody.
Yeah,
you don't curse them.
But you
get
locked up.
But yeah, that's true. You can probably get locked up for cursing too.
But if you curse somebody, how could they tell? You feel me?
Because you gotta be like, I cursed you. You know what I mean?
If
you have to gloat. You have
to gloat. But that's of course how you kind of curse yourself.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Well, that's what I remember. I dated a Wiccan, and she told me that she told me that witches like when they curse people, like they take a piece of their own soul. Because I was testing the
You're
water.
just like sitting there like,
Yeah, I was
so
this
true.
is before we were hooking up, so I was like acting as though I was interested.
Like,
so
totally,
I was like, so why don't they curse Donald Trump?
Why not?
Like, this is the first Trump administration. I was like, why don't they curse Donald Trump then? Like, and she's like, oh, like she took it real seriously. She's like, well, you know, you take a piece of your soul. It's like a lot of dark energy when you curse someone.
So listen, all y'all Wiccans out there, just do like a Wiccan GoFundMe.
Yeah.
And y'all
No,
just
they
do like
do,
a
but
little
it's not-
bit, a little
No,
bit.
wait, they did do that.
They do. It's on Etsy. On Etsy, you
get the
can
fuck outta here.
actually on Etsy
Give
you
a
can
little
go
bit of your soul.
and fucking get curses. But because I know about this Wiccan shit now, I know that they're faking it. Because there's no way they're like, for $15.
Come on, gang.
For $15, you're not removing a piece of your soul for $15. That's not happening.
$15? I mean, how much of your soul is there?
That's what all the incels say about the OnlyFans girlies, bro.
Yeah.
It's $15, yo, you're removing a piece of your soul.
Yeah, they're saying that while they're
Yeah, but you're removing a piece of your soul once. Every $15 is not a new removal.
Come
You know
on.
what I'm saying?
It's
So
just
it's a
one
way
time.
better deal. Who doesn't do that?
Come on, fam.
You know, these guys are on WikiFeet for free.
Yeah, that is wild. Yeah,
we could be. Yeah, see, Etsy.com, market Wiccan curse.
Wiccan curse is
bro.
nuts.
There's a whole fucking market for it.
Is there like different one? Oh, you can get a removal.
Whoa, this one's $180.
Oh,
1,000 5-star reviews, bro. This is legit.
Oh my god,
Black
they
magic
all have five. I guess you wouldn't really want to give it a less than 5-star review.
Yeah.
Curse you.
Revenge curse, powerful and permanent black magic, ruin spell, make their world crumble around them.
Wait, are there different like
Insanity
schools
hex?
of like witch ladies? Because there's like the fucking like Santeria people.
Right.
Bro, voodoo for $16? That's crazy.
Nah, that's not real.
I want to
This
see the
lady,
person doing the voodoo.
$550, destroy the lives of your enemies curse?
Nah, listen, if you're gonna sell me voodoo, it needs to be done by a West Indian, Caribbean woman with her hair wrapped and a cigar. You know what I'm saying? With like moody A24 lighting, bro. All that shit, bro.
I used to live above a psychic who said she was a gypsy, and that was her words. If people get mad at me for saying that, I do think that she was possibly Mexican, but
she was capping.
Yeah, I think it was a little like she was like banking on people not really knowing. But
she's ethically ambiguous.
She did when she moved in. I was like, she was like giving out free readings or whatever. It was like a promotion. I was like, hey, I live above you. Like, what's going on? It was like a storefront. She lived in there too. And she was like, she did like a psychic thing. That's the only time I ever had a psychic. She did one on me, and she was right. Like, she gets some crazy shit, and to the point where I was like, wow, this is like kind of freaking me out. But my friend's coworker, she did steal like $8,000 from him, and then disappeared. And she gave it to her husband, who was a gambling addict, and he used to go gamble with my landlord, who was a Vietnamese podiatrist who couldn't practice anymore because he was disgraced.
Yo,
and they would take a bus to Reno every weekend and gamble the money, and she would borrow it from all the people going to her for spells. And then, like, if they won, she'd repay it. If not, she'd be like, give me another week. I have to borrow around and, like, get it. And then she'd disappear in the middle of the night.
Bro, she did the disappearing spell.
Yeah, she did.
So the curses are real, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay. Wait, hold on. Let me check in on this backpack real quick. Make sure.
Yo, big game. Yeah, man. Listen, it's the algorithm. It's not an algorithm. It's the algorithm.
Algorithm?
We are men of a certain age. Well, I am. I'm fucking washed.
Where are you seeing this?
I'm just making sure. I'm just in my brain.
Yeah, the algorithm.
Yeah, this is a unk off right now. Unking hard.
You know what I'm saying?
Can I grab one of the batteries of what?
This is a little bit of an easier setup than I thought it would be. I think you have to have some like harness or something.
No, it's not that crazy. Wait, what do you want? Oh, you want a camera?
Is this still recording?
That is still going on.
Okay.
That's one.
Okay.
There's two different streams that are happening in real time here.
Let me just show them some Instagram reels on my phone.
No. That's like.
Can I pull my gun at the screen?
I have done that. They were trying to get me banned because some dude was like doing a death threat, and I was like, good luck. And I pulled out my Glock, which is an airsoft gun. It's fake.
It's not real, guys.
It's not real. And then all of these dudes that are like Republicans and they like love guns were like, why isn't this guy banned yet? He was like trying to kill someone. And it's like, no, man, he was saying he wants to kill me.
At the end of the day, you're in your room.
Yeah.
You know, you can't shoot the computer.
My son this fiber optic shot. Bow. Hold that. Hold this file slug.
That would probably feel good though to shoot the computer while you're streaming.
If you shoot the computer while you're streaming, bro, that's crazy. I'm about to do it right now. Jay's on first. I'll shoot this bitch out.
Is there enough room there? Should we even bring those?
What?
Do they work? Those ones?
Yeah. No, they work to.
I do have.
They work
I
to
have.
swap out for the main one. They just.
I
don't
got
have
this. Have you seen one of these?
Their USB ports don't work, so.
Oh yeah, yo, this is crazy. Yo, the slapjack.
Yeah, dude.
Yo, my pops had one. My pops gave me one of these. He had one of these in his car, and I used this in a fight in high school, bro. And that's the only time I ever used it.
Yeah.
What is that?
Wait, how do you use that?
Bro,
Wait, that's like an old time. Like,
yeah.
Yo, dog, it goes on your hand, and you just what the fuck? Blow! You could, bro.
There's a lead ball in there.
Yeah.
Oh,
dog.
it's heavy.
That shit is night.
It's
time,
for
bro.
BDSM purposes.
Yeah,
it's not a tool,
that's for spanking.
it's
God,
for,
what kind of asses did this touch?
No,
It's for spanking?
I've accidentally recently.
Wait,
I
a slapjack, bro. That's what
I
it's
flew
called.
with it, and I didn't realize it was in my backpack. And at TSA, they take it out, and they were like,
What is
this? And I panicked. And my thing, I've always been like, if I ever get in trouble, I'm like, it's for gay sex. And because the cop or whoever.
They don't even want to talk no more.
I don't want to talk to them
You got it.
So I looked at the guy, and I was like, it's for content. Like, in kind of implying, hopefully, with the weight of my voice that I have,
Which
like,
is,
some kind, with the whole weight of my voice, that there was an OnlyFans behind this.
This is going to somebody's
And
asshole.
he put it back in the bag, like, really hurriedly. He's like, okay, whatever. And then when I got, like, down, because this is in Newark, I, like, opened my backpack, and I realized I had a fucking knife in there. And I'm like, he got so grossed out by this that he let me fly with a knife. That never happened. I'm a comedian. It's fake. It's fake.
They're ass at that kind of stuff. They will stress me every time for all the camera equipment.
Can I use your restroom real quick?
No.
You gotta end up on Wiki Meat.
Yeah.
Just pee right here in front of the whole everybody.
All right, let's see. What should I call the Uber to? You want to just do it?
Wash it up. Let me see if it pops up. Because if it pops up, you got an exact address.
We can like walk after we go in that vicinity. Take him to a cuchi frito.
There's a cuchi frito on Burnside. Yo, like that's what I'm trying to see. I'm like, yo, you trying to eat like and like be like, yo.
I'm trying to definitely eat for sure. I'm hungry. I haven't eaten yet today.
And you be working out because I don't work out like that. You know what I'm saying? So I know that dude. My brother works out a lot, and he'd be like, yo, I'm hungry, bro. Like,
yeah,
hungry.
I'm hungry.
Hungry.
Yeah.
HONGRY. I bet. Say that.
Make my man Latino. Yeah, Turks are Mexican is what I say.
High key.
Yeah.
That's what I've heard things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Feed the baby. Yeah. Now listen, we gonna go to Malacon. We gonna do something. You know what I'm saying? This man's gonna eat some very seasoned, very filling food.
Oh hell yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Jalapeno White Castles is crazy. Come on, man. This is the first time we linking up. I ain't taking them to White Castle. We not even drunk.
Yeah.
The Chinese gin they ain't work.
Yeah.
I'm sober.
Okay. Hit Hassan with the Dominican rate? Yeah, make me look like Mark Zuckerberg.
Yo, you want to go get a shape up?
I mean, sure, I'll be down. What would that entail? Like,
It would just
I don't
be
want
like-
to. I don't want to shorten it too much because I do need a haircut.
If I would say, I'll be like, yo, just hit right around here. Like they'll fade you in here. Fade you in here.
They gotta
and be like, yo,
pull
don't touch
back.
this.
Well, they gotta pull this back a little bit too because I have the. It's too much right now. It's too long. It's getting in my eyes.
You might have to. Yeah, listen, bro.
Give him an Edgar? No, dude.
That's crazy. Now
I
you're
have
bugging.
to live with that.
I'm not gonna violate him, bro. This is my guy.
Yeah. I have to also live with that for an extended period of time. They always do this. They'll be like, "Oh yeah, just shave," and then like for the next month, they'll be like, "I can't believe you shaved." It's like you wanted it.
You asked for this.
You asked for this, and now you're fucking complaining.
You should. You kind of have an Edgar, man. It's
I
just
do
curly.
a little bit.
What about Dark Caesar?
What's a Dark Caesar?
You know what I'm saying?
What is that?
Like just kind of like low, wavy, taper. You know.
I mean, I'd be down. I'd be down to get a haircut.
I call it the Nas. He perfected the Dark Caesar.
The Darks? I've never heard of this.
Let's see, dark.
Let's look it up.
You know what I'm saying? It's like a fade, but not.
Oh, yeah.
This?
Right. Variation of the classic Caesar, but you don't get.
I hate AI overview, dude.
Yeah, you know, it's the worst. It's like, yo, a Dark Caesar is a Julius Caesar after a month.
Dark Caesar with low taper, no enhancement.
No enhancement is crazy.
What does that mean?
No enhancement. Enhancement is when you got, you know what I'm saying, hair that is textured like mine, and you got a little spot that's missing or whatever. They put a little thing in the
Oh, is it they spray
little
with the charcoal? Yeah, with the mist. Yeah, I've seen that.
Yo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, they invented just like fake hair?
Oh, dude, yeah. They just straight up spray your they just spray your head with
And they
like
deny it to the
I don't
white
get
man?
I got
No. White people use
Can
it
we
too.
get it too?
Yeah, you can get. Bro, I got a fucking man unit installed on YouTube, bro.
You can. White people get it too sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah, dog. There's mad dude, white dudes going to Turkey and shit, getting a whole situation.
I know. It's kind of your guys' thing now.
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Y'all have taken that. Yo, shout out to Oman.
Yeah.
Shout out to
Yeah.
Shout out to Turkey.
It's probably gotta feel good, so good to change someone's life like that. It's gonna male BBL.
Bro, it is, bro.
Yeah.
It's
The
the
only-
HBL, bro.
That's why I don't understand how Eric Adams never got that. Like that, it makes no sense.
All that juice you got in Turkey, bro, you couldn't get it here.
Yeah.
Right? You just got double XL veneers? That's crazy, bro.
Yeah. The veneers are insane. Dude, the night that fucking, when the U.S. bombed Iran,
it's a restaurant.
He was at like some random.
That motherfucker was at like
He was in Queens, fucking at
He was
a
at Starless?
Persian hookah bar, just like
Wait,
with some girl from Instagram. Fucking just smoking hookah with her.
Wait, are you talking about when he did the thing with Amber Rose and Sneak?
No, not the Amber Rose.
At Gracie Mansion.
No, yes, that was insane.
He had Amber Rose and Sneeko at Gracie Mansion.
That is insane, gang. See, that's why we need Zoran in the building, bro.
yeah.
Zoran's not bringing bozos up there.
Well, no, I think it's okay. I bring Amber Rose is coming on a little more often than she's coming around.
Yeah, you want the grotto at Gracie?
Yeah, exactly.
When he wins, that's what we're doing. We're throwing a party. Amber Rose is showing up. We're definitely inviting her.
I'm saying. It's like
I called her right before she shifted, bro. Like
really?
I was talking to her right before. Yeah, I interviewed her. I was talking shit with her.
Did you see the light? Did you notice something like an energy shift?
Nah, bro. She came in with the micro braids, looking like Yesenia. You know what I'm saying? Like looking like a Belkis, looking like something I would have hollered at in like 2003. And then
was everything good, by the way?
Boom.
What's going on? We're good to go.
2 weeks
right.
later, 2 weeks later, bro, she's outside, head shaved.
Well, she did the
Make America Great. I was like, what?
she linked up with 4G Auto.
4G Auto Blow, man.
4G Auto Blow.
Don't disrespect him like that.
Dog, which is crazy. Another thing that's crazy about she never showed her pops. When she was doing the whole like, yo, I'm black hip hop. Her pops looks like fucking Wolf Blitzer, dog.
Really? Wait, really?
Like, yes. Amber Rose's pops looks like a fat Wolf Blitzer.
So
bro.
potentially, I could have a daughter as beautiful as her.
Okay, well then it makes sense why she went the MAGA route.
She started trying that motherfucker out all crazy, bro.
Let's see, Amber Rose. They did a song together.
Yeah, it was nasty.
Like, I can't believe she went from
Wiz Khalifa?
Trump fans, baby.
Putting her thumb in Kanye's asshole to fucking that.
What a fall from grace.
Oh my God! Wait a minute.
This is the
wait.
Ice Ice
Isn't
Baby.
Wiz Khalifa also right wing now too?
Is he?
Trump campaign just paid a bunch of rappers at some point. You know what I mean?
No, Wiz Khalifa might not be. I know Waka is he's like MAGA. Wiz Khalifa, I think he's
all
just
the
like,
rappers are, bro.
Yeah.
Wiz Khalifa, I think like he's just like into self help and like he's just like works
Muay
out
Thai
a
and
lot.
shit,
Yeah,
yeah.
he wears the fucking skin tight pants. Like the
He's on some
underwear.
combat sport shit.
Yeah. He does that.
Which, I mean, a lot of motherfuckers will confuse it. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're super.
Oh
into,
yeah.
like,
Oh yeah. Fivio Foreign.
Yeah, all of them, bro.
Oh,
yo,
yeah,
he's,
Fivio- yeah,
yo, he's
yeah,
gonna
yeah.
do. He's gonna make us mad rich, yo. You know what I mean?
Well, he started with Eric Adams. He first started with Eric Adams because Eric Adams did the thing where he was like, "We gotta stop gang violence in the city" or something, and then he was like,
had a gang summit. I was like, what is this bullshit?
Eric Adams did?
Eric Adams is so awesome.
He had a gang summit? I don't remember
Bro,
that.
he's a clown cake, bro. A 7-layer clown cake,
He's
man.
incredible, man. I kind of don't know if he like knows where he is at all. I have a theory that I will not speak on this.
He don't understand. Like, he
I think
knows.
he's like-
He know. Yeah, he might be a little skied up. You know what I'm saying? Allegedly. But like, what I do know is that
doesn't he do polyamory? He's like polyamorous or something. Like he has.
I think no. Well, so I think he doesn't know he has 2 wives.
You think he doesn't know that?
doesn't
So
really
what does he
know.
have? Multiple personalities?
No,
with
I
it?
think he's like simple, man. Like I think
low
he's,
key,
yeah,
like not even low key, high key.
Yeah, like I think he's like that's
So
why
he
I
has
feel
2
bad
wives that he
being
doesn't
mean
even
to
know
him,
he
'cause
has
it's
2
like
wives.
I mean,
He got one in Jersey, one in.
All right, where do we?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that. That's
Oh.
what I was mentioning. That's why I said he's polyamorous.
Yeah, but he lives like, cause he's got like his he was sleeping in his kid's house, and then
which is crazy.
Oh yeah, that was.
He's like, yo, this is my apartment. I was like,
kids-
man, you got a sleeping bag.
Cuomo did the same thing. He's sleeping in his daughter's house.
Yeah, he his kid. Well, Eric Adams' kid is better than Cuomo's.
He's
children,
Albanian
though,
because he's Albanian, so you think he's like a little Turkish.
Well, he's also a rapper. That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah.
More so. Wait, he's Albanian?
He's an Albanian rapper. He's not. No, he's not Albanian.
I'm gonna send
But
you this shit right now. It literally says food truck, Jerome.
Okay, let's see if I can get that on Uber.
he's like connected to the Albanians.
Okay.
Shout out to all my Albanians, bro. If y'all want to go there, we could go there too. There's like an Albanian enclave in the Bronx.
Oh yeah.
Bro,
I mean, dude,
this-
fucking
It's just the name of it. That's funny. Okay.
all Arthur Avenue, like half those places are fucking like
Albanian
And
now.
I mean, no disrespect to the Albanian community. I'm very afraid of you.
Oh
but
shit! It closes at 8 p.m., bro. What kind of food truck?
Nah, there's no way. I got
That's
to
what
that shit
it
at
says.
fucking 4 in the morning, 3 in the morning.
but they have like all the Italian restaurants. It's like half of those places have big ass Albanian flags in them now.
That's what I'm saying. So like,
Yeah.
I lived on 188th and Chamberlain, which was like right off the Ave, and I seen it. Like I seen it happen in real time.
It's
like
crazy.
you see the big ass Italian flag that you go in there, yo, and the Albanian flag is like intimidating.
It's
man.
cool. It's scary.
It's like yo, red and black, like with the fucking
yeah.
dog. I'm like, yo, hold on. And then when they pose in the flicks and shit, they like, yo, throwing it up. I'm like, yo, how do all these white dudes get down with Dipset?
Well, we actually don't really know what race they are.
Albanians, they're Turks.
Yeah. Well.
Oh yeah.
Some have said.
They're just Turks.
Some have said. Maybe they're Italian.
That is true. I mean, Albanese is the fucking
Francesca Albanese.
No, the Labour guy in Australia.
Oh.
Was his last name also Albanese or something? What the fuck's his last name?
Albanese. Albanese. Like the gummy bears. Did you guys see the Italian PM tweaking?
Oh,
what,
yeah.
Giorgia Maloney?
Yeah, bro. She was like, yo.
Yeah.
Yo,
What is she doing?
I will say though.
That was big Afties energy, bro.
She's yeah.
Bro.
She's
Brace, bro. Listen, bro. I got an idea. Yo, listen,
we're gonna change Italy forever. We're gonna change Italy forever. We're gonna make a new type of pasta.
Listen.
Yeah.
We're gonna go pounds.
You want to use that?
Like, yo, what the fuck are you talking about? You just saying shit.
She is. I will say though, like for a mature woman, of who is a high stress.
Times of India, the most reputable institution that we got.
Look at her.
It's one of those like
She's doing that thing because you know how some people when they do coke, immediately like a motor mouth, even a little bit. She's doing that. The eye twitching too.
Oh, this is not one of the AI accounts. This is the actual Times of India account. I thought it was like one of the Hindustan Times style.
Bro. The eye, she's blinging, bro. Eyes on Secret Squirrel. Yeah, she's like, yo, what's good? Yo, you gotta, yo, bust me down on a cigarette.
We need 5,000 more tanks for
They're
NATO.
saying it was fake, but also shit's got to be mad boring if you're fucking like hanging out with a bunch of these old dudes and they're talking about.
I would
don't know.
drop in on the Pope if I was the Italian Prime Minister. I'd see what he's
Yo, what's
up
good?
to.
What you doing, bro? Like,
I would be like, can you put me in some?
He's
of the
American
songs,
now,
you
though.
know?
That's
yeah,
like-
it's true. Yeah.
He's just like a regular dude.
He's just a dude from Philly?
Cars here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see how long it's gonna take for us to get there.
It's
by the
gonna
way.
be 2 hours. Where are we going?
2 hours is
We're
crazy.
going to the Bronx. Don't forget your bag.
Bronx is 2 hours away.
Wait, really?
Mama Blanc. Nah, I made it easy for that. You know what I'm saying? This is like right off the highway type shit. No crazy. You know what I'm saying?
All right, I'm gonna swap the camera over to our backpack now chat. Hold up.
Wait. I got some paint in my car if you want to do graffiti.
We're continuing to stream on the way there.
Yeah.
So I can't play you guys my fucking raps.
No. No. No in general.
Damn, this guy's good.